Rivers and roads weave and flow through the mountain-lined valley, forming strands that connect one place and time to another. While these roads may dictate where we are headed, it is our own actions that ultimately decide fate. On October 21st, 2023, two guys new to TCGs sat across from each other for the first time. And sure, they could have played, shaken hands, and moved on, but then we wouldn't be here. Welcome to the live first-year anniversary edition of the Ink Table Podcast, a Lorcana podcast where a group of fellow Illumineers gather around the metaphorical ink table and share their table talk with you. So if you enjoyed lore, art, sense of community, comedic banter, or just all things Disney, then pull up a seat and join hosts Dylan Bailey, Preston McNair, and producer John Meadows as they reflect on the journey thus far and the strands of connection made along the way.
We are live, which is unusual to say. So, I think we are live on the internet, going somewhere. Apologies about that, folks. We actually had to recirculate a new link everywhere because we're using Streamlabs, and that created a brand new live stream. So we needed a few extra minutes to make sure that we got the links out to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everywhere. So, and I know that we initially said YouTube, but we are live everywhere. TikTok, although I don't believe it, but we're there. Where else? Twitch as well, and also YouTube as well. So I know we said YouTube, but hello from 3 different platforms, and welcome to episode 19 of the Ink Table Podcast. So this is going to be our first year episode. It's been a year since we've been doing this, and we thought there was no better way to do this than to, go live. And for all the audio listeners out there, the audio is still going to be on your podcatcher of choice, just not immediately. So you're probably listening to this a few hours or even the next day and whatnot. But it's awesome to be here gathered around for our first year.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely great. It's crazy to think that we've been doing this for a year now. And I'm so happy that we can share this moment with everybody in the chats across all these different platforms and stuff that we are. We hope that you guys enjoy, and it's awesome to just have everybody here live with us, pulling up a seat at the Ink Table. Like John said in the intro there, I think this started, the 3 of us, you and I met a little bit earlier than that, but the 3 of us came together as about October of last year. And then I think John came in, the first time we met him was at a set championship. Was that Inkland set champs? Inkland sealed. See,
Yep.
Okay, so earlier. Complete strangers. None of us knew each other prior to Lorcana, prior to going into the boardroom for the first time. 3 complete strangers, brand new to TCGs. And we really came together, and John pestered the heck out of us to start this podcast because he really enjoyed just monitor conversations whenever it comes to Lorcana, and not just me and you, but everybody who was there. And I think he's kind of worrisome now. We've had conversations and stuff since then because it's funny because in the beginning, John was like, guys, I just wanted a podcast that I could listen to. Now this is all of this. As big as we are now, as much as we've grown, pulling Illumineers, taking a seat from all over the world. And it's just fantastic to see how much we have grown over this past years. And just the story of building a community and friendships, not only amongst ourselves, but our local community. And everybody who has listened, everyone who has tuned in and watched, liked the videos, watched any piece of content, or just interacted with us in the Discord. I mean, I think that was one of the coolest things that we did this past year is just open that Discord up for free and just every day in conversations with like-minded individuals in a community that it's not necessarily meta-focused, but we absolutely love Disney, all things Lorcana, it's I don't know, Preston. I mean, what do you? How would you describe our community that we've built?
I mean, a lot of different ways to describe it in a sense. And apologies, I'm still updating links on the site, so I'm almost there updating everything. But no, like it truly I almost think of it like a Thanksgiving dinner in a sense. Like everyone kind of
Yeah,
comes and plays with
big
cardboard, and
friendsgiving.
yeah, like every Saturday has turned into something that we all enjoy doing socially and just playing with cardboard. And this hobby that we've all enjoyed has grown to I look forward to going every Saturday to our league and to any other card shops around us. Has turned into a proper social thing. I didn't attend league for a month, and I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on in everybody's lives because I've just been so busy. So it's almost like a friendsgiving with every single gathering. So it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, I like to think that we offer something unique that you can't really get anywhere else within the Lorcana community. I mean, there's other people that are community based, but just this small niche, tight knit, open and welcoming, safe, right? Like a safe community that everybody can be a part of. And it not just at that local level, but again, worldwide. I mean, we have people in here from Canada. I mean, where you at, Mike? And Austin, right? And then people from Ireland. I mean, all over the world. And we've said it time and time again. This table has continued to grow, and I look forward to the next year and seeing it grow even more. Having to go rent some more seats.
Couple foldable tables.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a couple of those somewhere for now.
We had some in John's studio last weekend, so that was
Maybe.
but no,
Yeah, we have that
this
one
is
from the
fun.
Lorcana Heat thing too. But eventually, if we reach 1,000 subscribers, if anybody remembers that table with the ink table logo printed on it, John's gonna like choke slam me or body slam me through that table. So tune in for that. Get us to 1,000 subs, and then you can
You
watch
know,
live again as John like power bombs me through a table.
you know that I'm going to turn that into every possible short. We're going to AI slop it. Like we're going to make it really, really something. So, but no, it's going to be fun. It's going to be your normal ink table episode, but we're doing it live. And for those who were unable to join us live, you always have the archive. We're going to be re-uploading this as a separate dedicated episode on YouTube later. And also aesthetically pleasing because on YouTube there's a dedicated live tab, and I'm like, oh, that's going to drive me crazy if like one episode is over in the live tab and not like the videos tab. So we're going to re-upload it, and then if we hit those marks, we'll have John body slam Dylan to a table. So
Yeah, like Preston said, this will be a normal ink table podcast, and we'll get into some news and stuff later on. But before we get into any news at all, with this being the 1 year anniversary, I think that we just want to take a moment to reflect and reflect back on our past year, some of our favorite moments that we've had with our local community and the wider community overall, just with Lorcana in general. And don't let the thumbnail fool you. I will say that. You see this thumbnail everywhere and it's got the Maui from like the you're welcome, right? This isn't a you're welcome at all. If anything, this is a thank you. So, from the bottom of our hearts here at the Ink Table, thank you to everyone. A special shout out to our local game store, the Boardroom, who has became a second home and kind of like the HQ for the Ink Table as a whole. Thank you to all of our local players there who have kind of been our biggest supporters no matter what. I mean, everything that we do, they've backed our wives who have dealt and put up with us, our
we got the
families.
wife moderation squad in the chat right now everywhere. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
fun.
but just a big warm thank you to everyone. But before we get into reflecting ourselves, Preston, I know you've been really curious, and the audience they don't know what's going on. But in our show notes, because we always have like a big laundry list of show notes going on, there has been this blaring thing that Preston has been bugging me about a little bit. I know it's probably been bothering him, but it just says surprise. And he's been
No
so
idea.
confused as to what this is. Preston doesn't like surprises. He wants to be involved in
I have to have my
the
whole
matter.
life.
Like, right. He's got to have every detail of everything. You cannot have surprises. So, Preston, I have secretly been working on a project behind the scenes to surprise you. It was supposed to surprise
Why
John
me?
too.
Okay, I was gonna say, why
It
me?
was supposed to surprise both of you, but John was getting the emails and notifications and stuff, so he kind of found out about it. But I will say, this is also a surprise for me. So I have went out and contacted some of our fellow Illumineers who we have worked with, met, and made connections with for the past year. And they wanted to get involved on this first year anniversary. So instead of us having guests and stuff come in, that voice line that we never use, that if you want to send in a message or ask a question to the Ink Table podcast and have your voice be a part of the podcast, you also can turn around and ask a question, and we'll have that link to that voice line somewhere. But we have some people throughout the community who did get back and wanted to leave us a message for this episode. I have not heard these, so this is also a surprise for me.
Okay. You ready?
But if this works,
No pressure, John.
Oh,
it works.
It'll work. It'll work. I think it'll be fine.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
So I'm gonna play them at random. Well, I'm gonna play them at random. I know which one I'll save for last, but okay. So here's the first one.
Preston, John, and Dylan, my 3 favorite Incasters. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. It's your good friend from Canada, Mike, Disney Dad Canada. What an opportunity to talk to you guys here on your celebratory podcast. I can't tell you how much you guys mean to me and how much this great game has meant to me this past year. As you well know, it's my first TCG, and to have friendships that I feel are as strong as the ones that we've forged, gentlemen, is really it's quite amazing, really, when you think about it. To connect from really worlds apart and to share this common love of all things Disney, an incredible card game with collectability, gameplay, fanfare, style, lore, everything you could ask for. Sort of all the all of our specialities, right, brought into one, and a place that we can communally talk about all the different things that we love about it. I'm very grateful to have found your podcast. I think it's the best around, and I wish you guys continued success and most of all joy. I had a lot of fun being a part of this journey with you, and I look forward to more in the future. But for now, continued joy and just have a great time with it, guys. God bless you guys, and again, congratulations on the 1-year anniversary. Well deserved.
What a lad.
Thank you, Mike. I
That's
think
awesome, Mike.
we're about to get super emotional.
I put in the YouTube chat, so I'm crying in the club right now. That's awesome. I had a feel. Okay, I'll save it to the end. Let's get through all of them. I had a feeling something like this was cooking.
All right,
I love that.
You want number 2? You ready? Any other thoughts before I move on to the second one?
I know Mike's been super busy, so
he has. Like, if you're here, you see it, or if you watch the VOD or whatever. Thank you, Mike, for reaching back out and doing this for us. Dude, you're one of our favorite Illuminaires. You're just genuinely, wholeheartedly a fantastic person. We love seeing you in the Discord. You're freaking hilarious, dude. You can literally be a stand-up comedian, and I'm sorry about your Jays, or I know the World Series didn't go the way you wanted. Maybe next year. No, it's a little touchy subject there, but we love you, Mike. Thank you for everything that you've done for us and being a part of our journey.
roll the next clip.
All right.
Hey, Preston, Dylan, and John. This is Rebecca. Rebecca Quest, and I just wanted to say congratulations on reaching your 1 year anniversary of the Ink Table podcast. That's such a huge achievement, and I'm so happy that I was able to be on an episode of your guys' podcast and have some fun talking about the game. And I look forward to whatever the next year brings for you guys. And I hope that you continue to do the podcast for as long as it keeps you smiling. Thanks for everything you do for the community, and congrats again.
Rebecca. That's awesome. No, I'm
think
the
she recorded this. When did she send this in, John? What wasn't it like? Because I know that we keep up with Rebecca's journey because Rebecca is like a huge pillar. I believe that like she flew.
I think it was
Milwaukee.
Yeah, it was either before she left for Milwaukee or when she got to Milwaukee, because I got it I got the email that evening while she was at Milwaukee. So I'm guessing
Dude,
she
I
did
swear
it
she was
in
probably
the
at an
hotel room.
airport and Phil. Yeah, I mean she's such a pillar of this entire community. Host, right? Teaming up with Ravensburger, she'll be there at every one of these DLCs, and is one of the like-minded Illumineers within this community that is community-driven. Not only that, but fortunate enough to have her as our very first guest on the podcast ever. And it blew my mind that we even had that because she is such a big deal within this community.
No, that's that's awesome. Like Rebecca's just one of those people. It's just like, at Milwaukee, Gen Con, it's just always like, hey, like, are we surviving? Are we doing good? So it's, again, like, it's just like I told a few people, is like, we're all just on the same, we are all on the same page whenever we're all together, whether it be a DLC or a Gen Con or whatever other events. So no, Rebecca was our first guest and a continued just awesome person to be in contact with and member of the community. So no, thank you, Rebecca.
All right, here's number 3.
Next one. Sorry, I'm gonna stay after everyone.
Testing. Is this thing working? I know we've never used it before. Okay, here it goes. Boys, happy 1-year anniversary. It's been an absolute honor to have shared the table with you over the past year. And while I'm sure we will thoroughly cover some of the highlights and our favorite memories, I wanted to take the time to say something a little bit more personal. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to our friends, family, LGS, and audience members all over the world who have decided to pull up a seat. And thank the two of you for being my best friends. Preston, thank you for always pushing me forward. You drive me to be a better Illumineer and have supported me from the beginning. You understand what drives me as a player and person. Thanks for being patient, and thank you for getting lost in the story with me. I couldn't ask for a better co-host. John, thank you for everything. This entire thing would not exist if it weren't for you. Outside of becoming such a good friend, you have become an amazing mentor. Even prior to the Ink Table, you have brought me in as a writer for the Gamers Lounge. In truth, I'm not the happiest person in the world. I never have been. I suffer from both anxiety and depression, and at one point, I had no drive or interest for anything in life. But the moment I took my seat at the table, that all changed. This is my passion and what keeps me going. I love the feeling, that twinkle of Disney magic, and being fully embraced by the warmth that this community shares. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for everything. Thanks for pulling up a seat. And here is to the year ahead.
Aw.
I forgot what I even said there.
How long ago was that?
Months
Probably
ago?
Months ago.
Nah, like months, plural.
Months, plural. No,
This has been planned for a while.
No, that's fun. No, at the end of the day, we all have like our own like thing. We the three of us, I feel like sometimes getting together to record a show is like aligning the stars entirely, but it's like, at the end of the day, we just we have this drive for a shiny cardboard now, and just the story and everything else. So it's been fun. It's been I think about last weekend and the 8 boxes we opened. Spoiler, but I think about the 8 boxes we opened, just sitting in John's studio with the rig. That was like the most fun I've had. Like I always have fun, but like that's like top 5 Lorcana moments was just a absurd amount of product, pizzas. Thank you, John and Nikki, for feeding us, and just and just having a good time. So it goes well beyond what you all see and hear here. It is in all aspects, like just unboxings and just supporting each other's families in each other way we can. So it's truly turned into I have to pull the strings. It's truly turned into this friendship, and not only do we all have a friendship, our families are now, we have like inter-family friendships now. So it's been a fun experience.
Kayla was trying to do one too, but she couldn't get it to work. But like our favorite LGS employee, she swore up and down she tried her best, but she is not technologically savvy. So she said she'd even call in if she had to. So I'm sure she has some things to say too whenever we all get back to the boardroom. But speaking of fun moments and hanging out and opening product, I mean, that was just one of many of the different things that we did over the past year. So now that we've heard from some other Illumineers and myself, I guess, again, I forgot that I even did that. What are some other cool things or fun memories that we have from over the past year?
I mean, like, not in like any particular order, but like Gen Con was a big operation that we did.
That was probably the best. Like, let's right off the rip, the Band-Aid ripped, right? Gen Con was probably the best moment that we had as a group, I want to say, over the past year, because again, all 3 of us, you talked about it. It's hard for us to have the stars align sometimes, but the fact that it did for that event, right? All 3 of us being there together, not only together amongst ourselves, but together with the entire community.
Yeah, no, like it's not only was it just like being with the whole community and stuff like that, but we each had like goals and stuff, and we filmed a lot of really great content. Like I remember like attending the second anniversary event, and Dylan didn't even have a ticket to begin with, and like I forget where I was. I think I was getting fitted for a suit for my friend's wedding. I think John was somewhere, Dylan somewhere. We're on like different parts of the planet, and we're like trying to cooperate and do everything. And John's like, "I'm in." I'm like, "I'm in." And then Dylan's like,
I was in a hospital room. My mother-in-law was getting her hip knee replaced.
I just remember Dylan sending the sad boy beast emoji. I was like, "Uh-oh." I still don't know how Dylan did it, but I remember attending that, and then I remember going back that night. And we had no plans to like edit content or anything like that. But then like I was just like, no, like we're here. Let's just edit. I remember getting on my iPad Pro and just busting out this pretty good edited video. You would never think it was edited from Final Cut on an iPad, but we turned into a whole operation. And we had goals too. Like Dylan was doing media stuff. I was grinding for a playmat. And just filming stuff. Like I posted a TikTok of the play area and got like 2,000 views. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so it was super fun. But Gen Con was a blast.
Even that moment you're talking about of just being back at the Airbnb together, right? And taking the time to like edit a video. I remember that like pretty detailed, because you and I were sitting there at that island or that bar side by side. You got the MacBook out, you're editing, I'm sitting there with you, and that's something that other people don't see as well. Is a lot of time whenever we have content published on this channel and stuff, or on our different socials, it's not something that we're sitting down together to edit. So it's either like I'm editing something, or you're editing something, or John's editing stuff for TikTok or whatever. It's all separate. So even that moment of us being able to come together and work on something together in that moment was great.
No, it was fun. Like, and that's how the whole operation is. Like, we're a very decentralized operation. Like, we pick up where things need picked up, and Dylan's headed up the unboxings. I know I do a little bit on Instagram and do a lot of the clips and stuff. So it's a very, and I know we talked a little bit about this on Lorcana chats, but it's a very decentralized operation, and just having like the ink table house was just fun. And also shout out Nikki, keeping it like being able to come back to the Airbnb and not have to worry about where dinner was coming from. Like Nikki was the MVP of the weekend, like truly.
And outside of her, just the community embracing us when I mean, you said it right there. We're kind of decentralized, but at the same time, we're decentralized from the rest of the community as well, whether it be because of the area and the location that we're in, or just whatever reasons. Again, making the stars align to have it to where we're actually able to go hang out with fellow content creators and other Illumineers to actually make a name for ourselves with them. So there's almost like, or at least for myself, I don't know how you guys really feel about it. I don't think we've like openly talked about it amongst ourselves, but to me, there's always this imposter syndrome, especially starting out, because I'm like, man, yeah, we're doing this. We're having a great time. We're having fun. Our locals seem to be supporting us and helping us. And at that time, I don't think we either just opened the Discord or it hadn't been around for very long. And I'm like, all right, who are we? Are we actually anything? I mean, we could like disappear and there's plenty of other people covering Lorcana content. Who are we? So to be there at Gen Con and have people like Rebecca and Liam and Aaron and just everybody in general of us and embrace us, even though we weren't necessarily invited there from Ravensburg or anything. We came of our own volition. They still included us in everything. Like, heck, even Dan, right? We weren't even playing Lorcana. Me and John were playing Gundam and testing it out. And we look up, and Dan Arnold's sitting across from us. And he's like, hey, what's up, guys? The fact that we met Liam.
8 in DLC.
Right?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, congrats, Dan. And then, like, even Liam, right? As big as he is, I mean, he was there on stage at the second anniversary panel. And for him to say, hey, guys, keep up, great work. He's seen some of our content and stuff. He's like, especially in the early days, he was trying to keep up with everybody's content. So, I mean, that was just, it made me feel so much better about what we're doing. And I think John has mentioned this and said it in the past. The moment we left, there was almost like this aura, this burst of energy where there was just something about it where we were like, this is where we're meant to be. We are doing exactly what we are supposed to be doing right now. It felt good.
It was a good trajectory. Like, it's where we got acquainted with a lot of folks. And then it wasn't too long because I saw the exact same folks in Milwaukee and going to see the exact same folks in Richmond. If we ever go to PAX one year, I know that was on Dylan and John's radar there for a hot minute. So it further solidified what we're doing. And we're still a drop in the bucket, but it's nice to kind of be a part of that. But not only Gen Con was a huge event, but we've done some local stuff too. The community theme night was a lot of fun, and that was Dylan and Cassidy's doing.
Those are always great. We got to run that back. We got to do another one. We've talked about it. We've said it. These theme nights and stuff that we're doing at the local level, we got to keep them up and do them, especially now that we have so much new IP coming and some even newer IP in the future. We'll talk about that when we get to the actual news.
So much new IP.
Then the Lorcana Heat Challenge, again, I wasn't there, and it's not somewhere that we can go in person. I don't know if that's still going on or what's going on, but just being a part of it, hanging out and playing with Lady King and talking to all those other Illumineers, Brando, Enchanted Kim, and all of them, being part of a little group chat, hanging out, and talking to everybody was fantastic. It was really fun and an opportunity that I don't think I would have had otherwise. Unlike you, who has now been to Milwaukee DLC, you're going to Richmond, and the plan is to go to Indy, right?
We'll talk about that later in the episode. we'll talk about Indy
all right.
No, we'll keep DLC short. Yeah, just right back. Obviously, way different atmosphere than Gen Con. everyone's there to play the game. You know, I feel like at Gen Con there's a little bit of that. There's social aspects, but you know, in Milwaukee, folks are there to play the game. So, oh, Inky Hour says, "Oh no, Gent, no, I'm not going to travel international for a DLC. Sounds fun, but that's a lot of paid time off at work, and I'm just like, I have other things I want to do next year. So, no, hitting the North America circuit. But we talked about the guests. You know, we had Rebecca on, we've had Mike on. But also Lorcana Chats, Chris making an appearance on, like, I feel like that was only 6 months into it too. Like we were
That was
still
super
very
early.
small.
That was another thing too. That confidence booster, right? Is you have that imposter syndrome, and then we actually have someone reach out to us. And Chris doing the ice cream socials and stuff now. I know you hung out and you talked to him a little bit there at Milwaukee, but having him invite us onto his podcast was a fantastic time. He was a great host. But looking at his channel, right? Seeing the people that he's had on there previously and even after us, to have our names put in that time capsule alongside people like Rebecca and Liam and JDZ. I remember watching JDZ's interview with Chris way back. And he was talking in that about how he wanted to be a caster. He wanted to do this. He wanted to do that. And now look at him, right? I mean, he cast at World Championship. He's been part of the casting team at these North America DLCs. And the dude is on like every other Lorecast.
The JDZ Lorecast is what it's turning into. No, it's good calls, but no, I feel like all that kind of leads into just these daily interactions that we have with everybody, not just in like our own communities, but also there as well. But before we get to talking about what's next for the show, I want to re-emphasize for those watching, whether you're on TikTok, we see you, whether you're on Instagram or Instagram clips or YouTube, all this is going to be recorded on the YouTube, on podcatchers, Spotify, wherever later. So it's going to be your normal podcast episode, but you know, naturally, you know how long we can go. So we don't expect everybody to hang around for the full thing, you know, because we are certified yappers. But I am seeing some chats here. Just want to make sure that, yes, all this is going to be recorded. So it's being recorded. You have the archive later as well.
It is being recorded, but I want to go ahead and say there are some things that you're only going to be able to do here live that you're not going to be able to do in the recording, such as, and I think we'll just skip to that now since people are asking. Well, we are running giveaways, and you're only going to be able to be a part of those giveaways here live. You cannot do that during the recorded episodes when we re-upload. This is the first time that we're doing that, and these giveaways, I think that we've collected some stuff from our journeys, whether it's at Gen Con and other events, but we have some promos that we want to give away. So that we have that Goofy Emerald Champion promo, and I also know some Illumineers locally who are looking for copies of Goofy to begin with, but that in that promo version that we were able to get at Gen Con, along with the promo Pluto Tried and True. And we have keychains, right? Courtesy of some local Lumineers who have this little business called Sleepy Chicken Nugget Designs. They made us a while back some keychains. Let's see if I can show these off. But I believe that this happened after set rotation or right before set rotation happened. We had an event where we wanted to celebrate and really emphasize some of the cards that were being rotated out. So you see, like on this one, this is Ruby themed. So we have the big Sisu on one side, and you have B Prep on the other. Again, Ariel here, Rapunzel on the other side, and we have a few of those. But I know throughout this episode, we're going to be running, up to three different giveaways. And during that, if you are a winner, you will have all three of those together bundled. You will have a keychain, you will have the Goofy promo, and you will have a Pluto promo that you could win, and we will ship it out to you guys.
Yep. as long as we can legally ship somewhere. Let's just get that generalized disclaimer somewhere. Luckily we shouldn't have any issues. But
and also be sure to let everybody know that if you're on TikTok, you'll have to come to the YouTube or the Twitch channel to do that. I can't run the giveaways in the TikTok chat, unfortunately. So
yeah. So
our TikTok peeps.
We see y'all, but yeah. So
we're
big
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. When we run this, I think what it is John will be in charge of it. When we decide to run it, there will be like a keyword that you have to put in the chat that will give you a entry into the giveaway. You will have one entry into the giveaway if you type that phrase in or whatever. But if you are subscribed, follow, or anything like that on whether it's Twitch, YouTube, whatever you're watching on, you will get bonus entries into the chat. I believe that's the way we have it set up. That way you have more opportunities to win or be a part of that giveaway.
We want to do one now?
Hey, while we got everybody's attention, why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, it'll only be up for a minute 20 seconds. So hang on, let's see what happens here. This is going to be the big test. All right.
Yep. The big test. There we go.
Just
so
show
what's
up.
What's the word? You just have to say anything in the chat.
You just go, just usually all you got to do is just type in whatever price there. There is no, it's not a word. You just type in your ticket number.
Yeah, no, I see that it's a technical limitation of obviously we want people to watch wherever they want to watch, but just with this and the system we're using, it's something that it's just a technical limitation of Streamlabs.
Yeah,
and stuff
it's
like that, so.
You do the way the raffle works is exclamation point raffle and then your ticket number. You just put in a ticket number. If you're a channel follower, you should be able to put up to 4.
Yep. And you said it's run for a minute, is that right, John?
Yep, minute 20 seconds. So you got a little bit of time.
We appreciate you guys coming over from TikTok. Again, like Preston said, we want everybody to be able to watch anywhere, but for the giveaways, I mean, it's great that we have you over here now, and if you aren't subscribed, whether you came over to YouTube or you came over to Twitch, make sure to do that. That way you get to put in more than just one raffle ticket. You'll be able to put in up to 4 if you're subscribed?
Yes.
So even more entries possibly win this giveaway. And all you got to do is click that subscribe button.
Yep, looks like they have to do exclamation raffle and then a number 1 through 4, it looks like. We're doing it live.
You guys could talk about something while it's going. I mean, the countdown's very slow.
While this is running, let's because we have a lot to talk about whenever it comes to DLC Milwaukee and some of the news we've gotten so far. But let's kind of briefly recap what our goals are for the next year. So, Dylan, where are we targeting to go here?
I think our main focus, and again, we want everybody to be able to watch everywhere, right? But our main focus has been, and always will be going forward, I think, is mostly here on YouTube. Sorry, audio listeners, you're still going to get all of our content, and you'll be able to listen to our lovely voices and be freaked out by John's voice if you ever listen to it out of ×2 speed there, Mike. But we're really shooting to just progress our subscriber count on YouTube, which again, that's great for this, right? Because if you subscribe, you get these extra tickets. Right now, I think we're at a little over 200 subscribers over the past year. And we're really trying to shoot for 500 right now. We're on the road to 500 because there's a lot more that we will be able to do once we reach 500 subscribers. I don't think we get like ad revenue or anything at 500. I think you got to have 1,000 for that. We'll be able to just interact and do more on YouTube side with our community here once we reach 500. Outside of that, we really want to work on expanding our community overall and reaching a wider audience and really opening up and inviting people to pull up a seat from all over the place, all over the world. And one of the ways we're doing that is actually going out to events and trying to make ourselves more public figures, I guess, and bring content from all of these different places and events that you guys care about and you want to see and that we care about as well. I think Preston's done a really good job of that so far, checking out some of these DLCs.
You got
And I
something
think we're
coming
gonna
up
hit
we're
Gen
going to
Con up
talk
again
about.
next year.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil that yet. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But we're definitely looking at making ourselves more public figures whenever it comes to being a part of the community. We want to be seen, and we want it the Illumineers who aren't necessarily able to go to these different events or DLCs because maybe there's only 3. Maybe you don't have them in your area. Maybe you just can't afford to go to them. I know that's my issue a lot of the times, to be quite honest. I'm pretty transparent about that. But just so we can vicariously live through each other, right? Because even though I wasn't at Milwaukee, loved Preston's content, loved hearing his stories from his time there. We're definitely looking at hitting Gen Con up again next year. Can't wait to go back to Indy. And hey, maybe the 3 of us will team up and we'll hit one of these DLCs up together. Might not be Richmond, but maybe we'll hit one up together. Then we would really, really, really like to have a card reveal at some point. We've been doing this for a year now. We like to think that we've made somewhat of a name for ourselves within this community, and it would just be an absolute honor to have some sort of card reveal. And I think that the 3 of us combined, the ideas and stuff that we have, we could make for a really, really cool, just a reveal video or something. I mean, we've seen all these other people what they do. I think that we could do something really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously can't control that, and our main focus is just to make this content, make it available, make the clips available. But it'd be really fun. Like we have so many ideas of how we could do one, but that is out of our control. And if and when we are ever so gracious that does happen, I think we would not disappoint with what the shenanigans that we would pull on that. So many ideas. But
Ripley, I
something
see
that
you in the chat too. I see Ripley talking about Charcon. That's definitely something that we are looking at and talking about as well, is not only these larger DLCs and Lorcana based events, but really trying to do more locally. Right? I think that not just at our regular LGS, but our local community as a whole, because like we've said, there's not a lot of stuff for even us to do. We're having to go out of our way to go to these different events and stuff. So if we could turn around and go to local conventions and stuff like that and be a part of that and bring some sort of Lorcana experience there, that would be fantastic as well. And I'm not opposed to that as all. And that's something that we're having conversations about behind the scenes.
And lastly is a big one that Dylan's been teasing in the Discord for a couple weeks now, and even today.
Live now, actually.
Right now.
Should be. But the big thing, and it's probably, I will be quite honest, is the biggest way that you can help, I don't want to say fund, but the biggest way that you can support the Ink Table Podcast currently, right now, is we now officially have a merch shop with, I don't want to say tons, but we have some really cool designs that we have been working on. What I'm currently wearing, this is a brand new sweater with the embroidered Ink Table logo that just came in like a day ago or whatever. And let's see, I got a couple more here. I know that shirts and stuff has been something that people have been asking for quite a while. So we actually have the classic logo. This is very, very reminiscent to the black shirts that we wore when we went to Gen Con, except my wife made those herself and printed those. These are brand new. And I'll tell you, the turnaround time blew me away. These shipped out, I believe, on the 12th, and I received them like 4 or 5 days later.
You just got back
Crazy
from a
to
trip
think
and it
about.
was on your front door.
Right. Like, not gonna lie. Not only do we have the classic logos, but we actually have our Team Ink logos as well. So we have this design, these white shirts or whatever, where the lore logo or pip behind the ink table, you can actually get in any of the 6 ink colors, so you can rep your favorite ink color and your ink team. Got tons of different sweaters, hoodies, t-shirts, beanies now that it's wintertime, and some different stuff there. And I'll be honest, we don't make money. We have not made a single dime throughout this past year. This is the first time that we're saying, hey, this is a way that you can give back. And even if you don't want to purchase something, there's a spot on there where you can send in donations. And I think that one of my main goals is to be completely transparent whenever it comes to our finances. We don't have YouTube AdSense revenue or anything like that. This is the first time that we're selling merch. Our website alone, John has been paying for out of pocket from the very beginning. For us to be able to be up on any of our podcatchers, John has paid for that out of pocket as well. Everything like is essentially been paid for out of pocket. Any of the giveaways that we've done, these promo cards for these giveaways, troves and stuff that we did the ARG in the past, all of it. I mean, everything has been paid for out of pocket, and I think that we would really like to have some sort of income to throw back into the channel itself to help operational costs behind the scenes, to help fund our website, to help give more giveaways and experiences for you guys.
Yeah, no, Dylan showed me this last weekend whenever we were unboxing, whenever we were letting John's DJI cool down on a block of ice and charge a little bit. But it's really sharp. And I actually just posted a link inside our chat. So, the URL might change. We're thinking about a few things URL wise, but right now it's the inktable-shop.fourthwall.com. And this site is nice. Like it could almost double as a proper web page. There's links to all of our episodes, all of our shorts. There's links out to everywhere, and then the
all of our socials,
all the socials, and then there's the merch as well. Again, it's nothing that we are saying go. Like no, it's just we wanted to put some designs up there that we're proud of. If you want to rep it, you want to rep it. Fantastic, thank you. But you all listening and just dropping likes and everything else, that is more than we could ever ask for from you all. So
right.
It's been fun. The ink table shirts at Gen Con was super fun. So Dylan has headed up that project and he's put a lot of work into it. So
we have our first giveaway winner, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
And you'll have our video viewers are probably looking like, what is Preston looking at? Now I got like 4 screens of chats up right now because we got people active all over the place. But we do have, I'm gonna slaughter this last name, but we do have a Jonathan Magna. Again, I apologize. That is my best attempt. But Magna. There's like another consonant in there, but you are our first winner of the set of the Goofy promo, the Pluto promo, and one of the keychains of one of the cards that got rotated out. So just feel free to get in touch with us on our email address or join the Discord and say, hello, I am Jonathan. Get in touch with us some way. I have you notated here that you are the winner, but just get in contact
however
with us.
You can get a hold of us on any of our socials. Send us a DM.
Already have an email from him. He's good. He is good. He's
already
emailed. He's in a hurry.
Good, Jonathan. Thank you for making our life easy. Hey, Ripley says Preston's hacking into the Matrix. I do that enough on my daily basis anyway. So that's kind of how it is. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. This, we tested a few things before we went live, and John was doing some things, and we're like, okay, here's the real deal. Click, and that actually worked out pretty well. So congrats, Jonathan. We'll have two more sets to give out as we kind of progress through the episode here. So, but no, the merch is up there. What's that?
Spoiler alert for something ahead as well, just so we have people know what's up and how you can be involved in this. Not only will we have 2 more giveaways throughout this episode that we'll just do at random as like kind of mid-course break runs throughout certain sections after it gets a little newsy, but we're also going to be having a normal Disney trivia that we normally have. A lot of people don't see that because it's typically at the end of our episodes, and it's what is it, me versus you a lot of the times.
Yep.
This is different. For this episode, we're going to do something a little bit special where me and you are actually going to team up, and we will be kind of competing against the audience overall because we will be asking Disney trivia questions down in the chat as a poll, and then you all get to team up and answer those questions and compete against me and Preston to see who knows what. We'll probably have to turn and stuff off whenever that comes, Preston, for on mine and your end. But we'll get to that. I just want people to know what is ahead and what you have to look forward to in this episode before we actually get into the actual news now.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Speaking of news, now that this is a normal podcast episode, the one thing that makes this, to me, I want to quote unquote normal, the three of us are all back together, unlike that last episode.
Kinda. I called in.
No. You called in. I called out. You called in. It worked. And where is it you called in from?
DLC Milwaukee. It's been a conversation that we've been looking forward to have, and I kind of had like a complete list of notes that we've truncated down. But no, DLC Milwaukee finished up. Oh goodness, almost a month ago, which is hard to believe. So it was a lot of fun. It was super awesome because again, I feel like we started getting Winterspell stuff and we started getting Wilds Unknown stuff and cards, and Dylan and John was just like, we got to do something or else our live episode is going to be 5 hours long, and nobody wants a 5 hour long live stream. As much as I would love to sit here and talk Lorcana with everybody for 5 hours, I got other things I have to do with my Sundays. So we all do, but no, that was fun, because Dylan called me. If you watched our clips, Dylan called me while I was playing my last round of a side event, and I kind of knew he was going to call, but I didn't know how exactly. And then I looked in the Discord once I wrapped up. I was like, oh, they're still there. I was like, click. I was like, let's just go. So no, Milwaukee has concluded. Spoiler, I did go. And I have thoughts. There's a lot to talk about Milwaukee, but I guess Dylan, what's the first thing you want to know about Milwaukee? I guess that's my first thing.
I don't care about anything except the community aspect of it. You know where I come from. I know what the DLCs are. They are competitive events. I can turn on Twitch. I can watch the streams. I know all about Aiden. I know about Dan. I know about DKP, Ed, and everybody who played. And I've seen the numbers, right? We've talked about the numbers a little bit. I know the different collar combos of what was represented and what wasn't. I want to know the hard-hitting truth. Before that, I want to know overall your experience. What was like your highlight, right? What was your best thing out of Milwaukee?
No, I think the community aspect definitely takes number one. Like, granted, it was a lot different. It was a lot more different socially this time because Gen Con, there's just a lot more flex time. There's a lot more stuff going on. At Milwaukee, all the creators are playing. Like, everyone from Aladdin's Castle to Missy Enchanted, everyone was playing. So it's like those interactions, as I said in the Instagram stories, was very much like, oh, hey, like, let's grab a photo, let's chat real quick, and then pairings were up. So it's a lot different than Gen Con, but the community aspect definitely. It doesn't matter where doesn't matter where we're doing Lorcana or playing Lorcana. The community is always going to be first. So everyone I crossed paths with, from Rebecca to Lady Kim, Liam, Missy, Enchanted Kim, Quest with Cole with that Max Goof cosplay. I wish I had an ounce of your energy, my friend. Cole was just up here the entire day. Like, it was like it's 8 p.m. He's like, let's go. I was like, yeah, I'm exhausted. Aladdin's Castle and Belle's Castle respectively, phenomenal people. We had a hilarious outtake on Instagram too with some content we recorded, meeting up with Chris from Lorcana Chats. Those folks definitely made the weekend a lot more memorable. It was already a memorable weekend to begin with, but those conversations had definitely just, really, it really enhanced the experience. So first and foremost, that the community aspect is always there. It's always strong. from my perspective, and I know that Dylan kind of mentioned this on the last episode, I'm not going to rehash everything, but I had a goal of getting 3 wins in the main event for the foil Mulan, and I actually ended up exceeding that goal, going 4-3 for the day in the main event before I dropped the last round. I could have played the last round to say I went 5-3 and missed day 2 by 1 day, but I was starving at that point. It didn't matter. I was deep fried cooked at that point. I was like, let's go get a burger. Let's go chill. So
it was just bragging rights at that point, anyways.
Right. I mean, it would have been like I've already met the goal. It was just like we were just playing for fun at that point. I'm like, let's just go on. So it was nice to meet and even exceed that goal, which was huge. But I do have a funny story, and I feel like this just ripped the Band-Aid off. I remember talking to Dylan and John. So we get pairings. It's like 10 after 10. You know, everyone's nervous, excited to get first pairings. I sat down. And I look at my opponent. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm Preston. We shake hands, you know, and get introduced. Super nice fellow. And then I'm like, this person looks very familiar. And I'm like, So I'm like, okay, I look at the name. I look at the face again. They roll out a foil DLC Rapunzel playmat. I'm like, okay. Took a moment to ponder. I was like, oh, my opponent that I'm getting ready to play in this DLC, he top 8 at Atlanta last year. I was like, I'm in danger. So, yeah, very nice. And obviously, I lost that match. Like those pros operate at a level that my brain has not tapped into yet. Like it was
so
very
do the 10-year-olds.
Yeah, including Aiden, yeah. But yeah, it was just so funny. Like I laughed. I was just like, of 2,000 people here, my first opponent top 8 at Atlanta, Golden Mickey recipient. Like, oh, it was fun. I forget their name. Andreu, I believe, was their name. A super awesome person. We chatted. We talked Blurple. It was a Blurple mirror. Super fun, but we just ripped that Band-Aid right off. So it was really fun to kind of like talk with them briefly after the match and just talk about the deck. And they gave insights to how the game plays that I've never thought about before. Like with Blurple, you're playing a board game, you're playing a hand game, and you're playing an ink game. And I'm like, oh, great. I can barely play this game to begin with, and let alone I'm playing 3. So it was that was a fun first opponent story. But yeah, 4-3 was the final tally. Walked away with Pegasus and Mulan. So
there's a lot that we don't see as people who are at home watching on Twitch. We see the casters, and the casters, as always, did a phenomenal job. But from your experience actually being there, what went well? I'd like to ask. I mean, I'm sure the judges did good. How did the Play Hub hold up? Were there any issues there?
Sure. Yeah, no, and I say this every time. Kudos to the judges, Ravensburger, Pastimes. I saw Coop once, and Coop was in a coop in the corner behind the scenes, pounding away on a keyboard. They worked hard. The entire team worked hard. You know that they had planned and practiced to the best of their ability. So every judge interaction was great. There's a supervisor judge. There's something went wrong with our pairings, and he came over and was like, what do you all need as players? And that just is incredible. And he's like, I don't know the answer, but I will find out in 3 minutes. So the staff was prepared. The Play Hub worked. The Play Hub was slow to load. I don't know if that was primarily due to DLC or the fact that that was also set championship weekend. So I believe that was during I think it was the last weekend of set championships was DLC. So the Play Hub did goof. We did have to go to judges they had the pairings on their phones, so they were able to look you up by name and get the table. And then once the Play Hub was back up, you could refresh and verify that you are at the right table. So it functioned, but it did have its quirks. And that went well. There was plenty of space, plenty of tables. And the broadcasting team too, they looked exhausted, but they gave their blood, sweat, and tears into that broadcast live stream, which unfortunately I still haven't watched all of it. there's still so much I haven't watched from that, and I need to catch up on it. But everyone worked hard. What went good overall? The event was successful. The event went. Everyone seemed prepared. And the Play Hub, despite a couple quirks, it still functioned.
Cool. But now let's be brutally honest and let's talk about the stuff that I care about the most whenever it comes to these DLCs, because again, we know what these competitive events are. I'm glad that the competitive side went great. Glad the event itself seemed to go okay. But as someone who cares more about community than the competitive side of things, and these DLCs no longer being through PPG, them being through pastimes now, and PPG has their own different events that are fully competitive. The whole point of the DLCs this time around, or the way that they were advertised at least, were these were supposed to be celebrations of the community as a whole. Yes, there would be the core constructive and the Infinity events at DLC 3s here in NA and over in Europe and stuff. But this other stuff that they talked about, and I don't want to say necessarily promised, but they definitely oversold, in my opinion, about what they were going to do for families, what they were going to do for the community, not only with these side events, but just open, free events that you can walk around and participate in. I know that at one point they mentioned Disney karaoke. I didn't take that as a joke. I thought they were being like pretty serious about that, and that they were going to have like a family area for families to be a part of. Did you see any of that at all at Milwaukee?
Yeah, and this is something that we have a private chat on our Discord server where it's just the team, and I was kind of feeding them notes.
Yes, I already kind of know the answers.
But it's helpful to notice. But there's other things we're going to mention that they have improved on. But the one major thing is to answer your question. No, they. Let's kind of draw back. So you have your major play area with hundreds of tables, which is used for side events, and you have your main event. You have your vendor area, you have your judge booth, you have your prize wall redemption area. And thinking back to the Lorecast, where they were talking about these family areas, it is still a celebration of Lorcana, but I think the biggest thing I would like to see addressed is going to be this family area, specifically this young Illumineer section. And I did take a photo of this, and I'm mentioning this photo not to call out any TO, because I don't know who at this point is responsible for what. I don't know if it's Ravensburger. I don't know if it's the TO. But the biggest thing is that the young, they had this section with a couple Pegasus banners, and it said Young Illumineers, and it looked like they were going to do something with that space. Nothing ever happened. I think they had the broadcast open on a bigger but smaller TV for a little bit on Saturday. In talking to some folks, it never really loaded well. And then on Sunday, it was just these two Young Illumineers banners and tables. It was never clear if it was meant to be free play area for younger players. So I don't know what happened there, and I would like to see that addressed for future DLCs, because very much like Atlanta, there were still families. There were children of all ages, truly. But there was couples, there's families, there was teams, there was individuals, and a lot of really great kid competitors like Aiden, for example. But a young Illumineer section was just you kind of looked over to it and you're kind of like, huh. What's this for? And it's like nothing ever came of that. And I thought back to that Lorecast, like Dylan mentioned, where they're talking about Disney trivia, Disney karaoke, and there was just really none of that. So I don't know what happened, and I'm not gonna really continue to speculate because it's done and over at this point. But it looked like there was something they were going to do with this space, but nothing ever happened with it.
That's the thing, is it's not done and over. It's done and over
There's
in
other
Milwaukee. It's
Right.
done and over in Milwaukee. But moving on from that, we have 2 other DLCs here. We have plenty of other DLCs across the entire world. Again, it's different TOs in other parts of the world. But this is something that can be improved on.
Yes, I think that is a huge thing to improve on. And a lot of the other things I'm about to mention, they've actually improved on. But this is one I think I don't know. I could throw up a few thoughts like, because there were occasional announcements that children under a certain age had to be escorted by an adult at all times. I think at some point there was some smaller kids kind of free reign, which that's just logical sense. You have to be with your smaller children and stuff like that. But I don't know if that was I don't know if they're nervous about having all those kids in that area and then the parents are playing. I think a little bit more thought could be behind that. Maybe saying, hey, we're going to have this young Illumineer section, but it's not daycare. It's going to be it has to be an involved thing with the parent or guardian of the child. So I'm optimistic, but I would say that unless your family is competing in the main event or y'all are doing side events, I don't know. I would like to know what actually was going to happen here, but it happened in Milwaukee. We'll see what happens in Richmond. But this is probably the biggest
I know
thing
we brought up
Dylan.
Right, because I know we brought up Aiden a couple of times, but you just look at his story overall, and you guys can go over to the Illumineers channel where they have a great set down, not necessarily an interview, but almost like a documentary video about Aiden and his journey. It's not just him. I mean, this guy's 10 years old, but his older brother, who also, in my opinion, is a young Illumineer, was there competing along with both mom and dad were competing competitively. I, on the other hand, if I went and this was a family affair, I would have my 7-year-old and my 12-year-old with me. Neither of them are necessarily highly competitive players, and I'm sure that my son, after getting beat 1 or 2 times, would want to drop. He wouldn't want to be a part of it. I mean, it's an all-day event. I believe those competitors competed for over 12 hours one day. That's a lot to ask for a child.
We
And
were
when
there from 8
you
a.m.
are
to 10 p.m.
Yeah, it was a long time. But when you're also allowing children under the age of 12 free entry to these DLCs without a competitor pass, right? So like they don't even have to compete. They just have free entry for ages 12 and under. That would make you think that you're getting in for free. There's going to be something for these kids to do.
Right. And right now it's just free entry. And I see that Mr. Bruise guy over here on TikTok says giving them side events to play against other kids. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. Learn to play, something like that. But
yep, learn the place for sure. Gateway,
learn to play
something.
Yeah. But that's that. That's the Young Illumineers section in Milwaukee. I think, and we kind of see it inside the chat again, the question of should you attend a DLC or should you attend Gen Con? It goes back to the point still stands. If your family is 100% dedicated to Lorcana, willing to play 8 rounds of Swiss for 10, 12 hours a day, yes. Gen Con, you get a little bit more flexibility. There's also a financial aspect that we're going to talk about too as well. But kind of moving on to the other improvements, we're going to save Infinity for last. But in Milwaukee, I had a couple things pointed out of things that could be improved. I do want to note, and I'll call this out, that they've already improved them. So kudos to Ravensburger and Pastimes for actively listening and improving this as well. But kind of rapid firing before we move on to other topics. The first major improvement to Richmond that I heard through the community was folks wanted a day of side events on Friday. And because Friday was just a check-in day. You got your badge early and that was it. I could not do that because I landed at nearly midnight in Milwaukee, but I got up at 7 a.m., made it to the venue at 8, and had no issues getting a very short line. And that was it. Just an ID check. Here's your badge. They are bringing side events to Richmond. So Friday is now a full DLC side event day. There's even side events that we didn't even have in Milwaukee. There's a promo palooza or something like that where playmats are up for grabs, and there's a lot more robust pricing now. So everyone's kind of had to redo their travel a little bit. But now I'm looking to drive up because we're only about 4.5, 5 hours from Richmond, where the 3 of us are generally at. I'm looking to drive up Thursday evening and then Friday have a full day of side events, more chances to play the game, and more chances to get prize wall tickets. And obviously that's a financial thing that we'll talk about in a little bit, because that's a big consideration.
I wasn't there, but this is the Friday side events is something that they had during season 1, correct?
Yes.
At the DLC's part of season 1 that kind of got
After
taken
the
away
first
during.
couple.
Yeah. This is a big deal because if you have core constructed the first day and you have players who are playing in core constructed for so long, unless you drop and then go play your side events and stuff, then you don't have a bunch of time to actually go and earn tickets to go get prizes from the prize wall. So having a full day on Friday to do that, again, there are financials involved, but at least you have an entire day that you can dedicate time to earn tickets when you know that if you're participating in core constructed, that's going to be an all-day event.
Yeah, it's going to shape up to be an all-day thing. There's major events too. I should have pulled it up, but there's some really interesting side events coming to Richmond. So that's pretty exciting. Closely in tandem with the side events, though, was the prize wall. The prize wall was something that was very widely discussed because a lot of the things on the prize wall was kind of like that big stuffed animal at the Chuck E. Cheese prize wall that was impossible to get. And a lot of people felt that the amount of tickets needed to redeem for certain prizes, and also how many tickets you were getting for each match win, didn't quite meet exactly there. So we did get tickets for showing up. We got 1,200 tickets, and you got 10,000 tickets if you made it to day 2 in the main event. There was no tickets for prizing or based on performance or anything like that in the main event. That was the only way you could get tickets from the main event, was by showing up and by making day 2. The Elsa pin, for example, was, I believe, like 2,000 or 2,500 tickets, but you only got tickets if you only got substantial tickets if you won. I think in a core constructed, I think if you went 3-0 in a side event, I think you got like 6,000 tickets or something like that. Whenever the non-foil Simbas and Elsas were at like the 7,000 ticket range and stuff like that. So those non-foil promos were very much a hot ticket item. And I did not have enough tickets to get an Elsa like I initially wanted. By the time I got my free tickets, my Pack Rush, my Infinity, and my 2-on-1 and core constructed, I was able to walk away with a Let It Go promo and I think a booster pack. That was by the end of it. So they have adjusted the prize wall tickets in Richmond. They have increased the amount of tickets per win. They've increased the amount of tickets you get for checking in. And you even get tickets for each match loss now, too, depending on the side event. So they did add that to Richmond, and that is fantastic. They also did adjust the amount of tickets needed for the pin is now more expensive, but the promos are a little bit less expensive. So they have actively adjust those prize walls.
Then I think looking here, you talked about lunch breaks and about playing
Oh
for
my
so
goodness
long.
gracious.
I mean, it's no wonder you dropped that last round to go eat.
Yeah, no lunch break. And here's the thing. In Atlanta, we got an hour for a lunch break. And keep in mind, that was PPG that hosted it. In Atlanta, we got 1 hour, which was enough because there was like a marketplace away from the convention center, but it had like a lot of quick service areas. We did not get a lunch break in Milwaukee, and you really have to come prepared for a marathon. I was living off crackers and protein bars and just water. They did have vending machines, and they actually did have food vendors like setting up tents. But here's the thing. I get why there was no lunch break. You have 2,000 plus people in a single room, and you have 3 or 4 food vendors, and you give them an hour lunch break. That's not going to be possible for everybody. Not everyone's going to be able to make it through the line and eat reasonably without giving themselves an ulcer or something, eating so fast. So I get why there was no lunch break, because an hour, assuming that 80% of the 2,000 people went to those food vendors in the event hall, there's no way you could serve everybody that quick and give everybody a chance to eat. So I get why, but that was something that was pretty heavily talked about leading up to Milwaukee. You just got to come prepared, but from a logistical standpoint, I think that's the main reason why there probably wasn't a lunch break.
And I get that, but then I turn around and it just goes back to that question: Gen Con or a DLC? And we know that Gen Con being over at both Lucas Oil and the Indianapolis Convention Center, it's all about venue, right? That venue's massive, it's huge. It had a ton of people. They were able to offer more options whenever it came to food and flexibility to eat. Whereas, dude, I'm a big back man. Like, there ain't no way that I'm sitting there playing for 12 hours and not snacking or taking a break. I mean, heck, we go to the local game store for 3 hours sometimes, and it's like, all right, people, if we're having a longer event, we're bringing food. We're all bringing pizza. We're bringing
We need to start
cupcakes. We're bringing
catering our
something.
field.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, it's just the venues themselves are smaller. Now, I'm not even really. I mean, I wasn't there, you were, but the Milwaukee Convention Center and stuff, seeing it on there, seeing Richmond is going to have less people there, right? I know that there'll be the same amount of competitors, but the actual, like the other tickets, the non-competitor tickets, I believe that there are less of those being sold for Richmond than what there was in Milwaukee.
I
So
think
it comes down to these venues. If they were able to actually turn these into larger events and have bigger venues and stuff and make it more about the community as a whole, where a bunch of people can come together, you could have food trucks and everything outside.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that's because even looking around the Bard Center, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but even looking around the Bard Center, I didn't see any food immediately nearby. So honestly, those vendors set up in the main hall was there. Now here's the thing: the average round in the main event went about 20 minutes over that, accounting for time adjustments and end of round procedures, your 5 turns. We went on average probably about 20-25 minutes past round in, but that's not enough time to get through a line and eat, sit down and eat. It was nice to kind of have that chance to kind of just sit down, pound a granola bar down real quick. But yeah, and which again, Dylan, the no lunch break thing, if they're marketing these towards community celebrations, family things, yeah, that doesn't that's just not feasible for a lot of younger people, like say, unless if your name is Aiden. It's just all gas no brakes. So that's that, but that has not changed for Richmond, just FYI, but that is something that did come up. Briefly, there was no check-in promo on Friday. That was, I think, was miscommunicated and interpreted. Bologna got one, but Milwaukee did not. The return of a early check-in promo has come back. It is the Pluto Tried and True, like the one that we are giving away during our live stream. So the early registration promo is back. The main point is the bigger thing was, I think, something that Dylan was excited to hear about was Infinity. Ask me how Infinity went.
Preston, how did Infinity go?
Not fun.
Why was it not fun?
Play Lorcana. Anytime I'm able to play Lorcana, I always have fun. The way that the Infinity format is currently not structured, but what we're seeing in the Infinity format is not a fun gameplay environment. I did end up winning one game, and I dropped after round 3. There's a total of 7 because it didn't make sense for me to continue to stay in the Infinity event whenever I could go and play another Core Constructed and walk away with a lot more tickets than if I spent the remaining 6 hours and did Infinity.
And it sucks that you got to think about it that way, right? That it boils down to, all right, how am I going to win more tickets rather than just, all right, I'm here to have fun.
Right. And and I think the other half of that is 2 decks dominated: Amber Steel, Sapphire Steel. I did a little bit of walking around. I probably saw less than 10 Amethyst decks, and it was almost over 700 people in that event, mind you.
What 2 decks?
I saw some Ruby decks and I saw some Emerald decks, not together, but just looking at other colors. But Amber Steel aggro and Sapphire Steel items just dominated Infinity.
So no Ruby Sapphire items.
Nope. If I did, it was very minimal.
So you're telling me that the two that dominated were the two that were allowed to run Fortisphere?
I don't think Amber Steel was running Fortisphere, but Fortisphere wasn't.
Still.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Fortisphere was. It's a strong format, but I made the decision to drop after I played the last match, and I missed turn 2 ramp, and I've lost the game at that point. You can't catch up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Infinity Weekend, and I think locally the Infinity Weekend is going to be fine. I think at local game shops it's going to be completely different. But from a looking towards indie DLC, I'm hoping one of two things happen. Either one, between the sets coming out, Whispers, Winterspell, potentially Wilds Unknown, depending on when that releases. I'm hoping that the cards there really benefit the Infinity format, change things up, or two, there is a ban list. I think one of those two things need to happen.
I think we've had conversations behind the scenes there too, that we truly think that there will be a ban list, and that these side events at these DLCs leading up to DLC 3, where Infinity format is your main event, those along with this Infinity format or Infinity Weekend, I should say, that you can go participate in at your local game stores this December, where you can actually get a whole new world promo. Those are really the testing grounds for this Infinity format and finding out what cards should be banned in that format and what should happen before they actually have that big DLC. And we see the exact same things that you're talking about now, where there's like one or two decks that just dominate and you're just seeing nothing but mirror matches the entire time. I mean, you'll have creative Illumineers that bring something special and unique always, but most part, when we've seen it in the past with whether it be Blurple or just Sapphire decks in Season 1 or at the end of Season 1. So that's something that we think, I mean, we can't confirm that, but we think that they're really paying attention to how these events go, what decks are being used, what ink colors are being used.
We knew we were the guinea pig going into it, but I think if anything came from that weekend is I will probably not go to Indy unless the format really changes with the new cards or if there's a ban list. That's kind of where I'm at with the Infinity format.
No, Dave, I see you in the chat. I don't think we know exact dates for our when our Infinity Weekend will be quite yet. That'll be up to the local game stores, I think.
Yep.
Or is it
weekend?
It's got to be a weekend in December, I do believe. They didn't really say a specific one.
I think it's a specific
Be
one,
wrong.
but just on days.
Okay,
Can't
but
remember.
it could be any day within that weekend.
I think that's the way they were planning it. Yeah. So
Right, cool.
Anyway,
so we
that's
talked
Infinity.
about Milwaukee. Why don't we go ahead and run our second giveaway? We'll post that in the chat. Take a break a little bit. Everybody can put their tickets in for the second giveaway for your chance to win a what was it again? We got the not necessarily a Gen Con exclusive, but that's where we received it. The promo version of that Emerald Champion Goofy, that promo Pluto Tried and True, that we are seeing is going to be a early entry promo that you can get whenever you go to these DLCs, along with a custom keychain at random, showing off some
on YouTube
art.
chat. I'll mention that because it's ticking now. So.
Yep. You got to be over on YouTube or on Twitch, either or. It does not work on TikTok. But if you come over to one of those other live, whether it's on YouTube or Twitch, you can enter this this chat. I will also say, we've said it for the first one. I don't know how many more people have tuned in since then. But if you are subscribed on either of those channels, you get bonus entries. You won't just get one entry, but you will get an opportunity, extra 2 or 3 opportunities of having tickets put in this raffle. Then leave it as !raffle, and then you have to put your ticket amount. Right? That'll take about a minute, and then a winner will be selected. So, Preston, quickly, while everybody's doing that, why don't we cover what's next for you and I? Because, I mean, you just went to Milwaukee. December's coming up. We have the holidays, and right after that is January. And you're moving on to what? The next big thing?
Yeah, and folks, not to take up, Dylan mentioned it in the last episode very well. We only talk about DLCs because they're very pillar points in the community. They're very substantial landmarks. So, which is why we're spending a little bit of time talking about Milwaukee and this. But so DLC Richmond, Virginia tickets did go on sale on Monday, which this has been a crazy week between pre-release, DLC tickets, and the first weekend of the league. Yeah. So DLC tickets have been sold bypass times. They went on Eventbrite on Monday. I did manage to get a competitor ticket, and the team of 4 other folks that I'm going with locally, they were also able to get their tickets as well. So I will be going to Richmond. The PTO has been approved at work. We are full steam ahead for DLC Richmond, and that is beginning January 9th, the weekend of January 9th. We are only 4.5 to 5 hours away. We mentioned it whenever we got dates about DLC Season 2, is we are very spoiled a little bit because we are in driving distance to Indy. We're very close to Richmond. It's driving distance to Milwaukee, but I flew. It was just kind of there. So Richmond is there. Go ahead, Dylan.
You said it too. We're spoiled. We do understand that not everybody has the luxury to be able to travel to these DLCs with there being less, especially our West Coast friends and our Canadian friends. But we just want to pinpoint that out. Like, we get it. We understand how fortunate we are, and I think that's another reason Preston's trying to hit up these, is so he can share his experience with the people who don't necessarily have that opportunity to go.
I want you all to live vicariously through this, and I have goals for Richmond, but we'll talk about that in December. So we'll cover that as time goes on. But yes, the tickets, again, it's very much like getting Taylor Swift tickets. It's like you have to have the computer, the phone, the iPad, everything else. So, but Richmond, all steams ahead for Richmond. I will say this though, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about this in December's episode once things are solidified. But there is a lot of local resources being pulled together to make sure the folks from around here in our community is well prepared for Richmond. So, but we'll talk more about that in the next episode. So.
Then January for me, slightly different. I will not be going to Richmond. Originally, I think I had plans to attempt to get a ticket and attempt to go to Richmond. But after hearing your own experience at Milwaukee, I think that I decided that DLCs, as of right now, like at this point, just aren't for me. And I'm not afraid to say that. I love this community. I love Lorcana. I would like to be there and a part of the community, but even like that aspect of it, the community's playing. Like, right? They are so hyper focused and driven on playing their matches, going and trying to get as many tickets as they can. You don't really have time to slow down and embrace what's going on like you do at Gen Con. On top of the fact that if I went anywhere, it would be a family affair. It would be me, my wife, and my 2 children, and I just don't think a DLC is the right thing for that. But that's okay, because there is another Lorcana experience taking place in January that I will be attending. And that is, I will be going to Disney World in January and going to Epcot for sure. I definitely got to stop and check that out because it is being advertised that in January, I believe starting on January 16th or something like that, that the Festival of Arts that is taking place in Epcot will have quote unquote Disney Lorcana experiences. That is all we know at this time. Did not say anything else during the Lorecast last Thursday, but we have ideas. We know that it's taking place in Epcot. We look at what's happened in the past. We saw that West Coast over at Disneyland got that collection quest over in Beast Castle, where you could participate in the collection quest where you go leave. I'll try to get some film of it while I'm there, but you go through this event, you kind of watch it and learn about Lorcana and what it is. Then they give you a pack to open, and then you got to trade with other Illumineers there to try to complete a small collection of, I believe, of 4 cards. And when you turn it in, you get a special promo that you can only get at these events. We don't know what the promo is, if it's a collection quest at all, which I strongly believe it will be. We don't know what the promo cards will be. We know in the past that it was a Bell and a Beast, which makes sense because it took place within the Beast Castle. We don't have a Beast Castle in Epcot, Preston. So I have no clue what it could possibly be. I'm not gonna lie. Right. I don't have
Figment.
I don't have it pulled up, man. I gotta find it, but somewhere within it, whenever they advertised this and announced it, was some quote about how it was a spark of inspiration or something like that within the Lorcana community, and I was like, spark. Oh no, you said a word. That's all it took was one word, was spark. And I'm like, man, if they add Figment and Disney park properties and IP over to Lorcana, this is going to be insane. And what a cool place to do it. I don't know how they could, though, if they did add Figment. I don't know if he makes sense for Winterspell or Wilds, what they would do. So if they don't do it there, maybe they just do it over in World Showcase somewhere. There's plenty of places within World Showcase where maybe they do it Mulan themed. You do it over at the China Pavilion. There's all kinds of different things that they could do. I would like to see a Lorcana experience all over World Showcase, similar to what we have with Kidcot and the Duffy Bears and stuff like that in the past, where you can hit up every pavilion and do a different activity at those. I think that would be cool.
So Missy's in TikTok, they say that I can't wait, and I said drink around the world with Lorcana. That sounds.
We'll see. And I will be there between, I believe, if I have the dates correct, the 19th through the 22nd. I don't have a particular date within there that I will be at Epcot. So if there's any fellow content creators or Illumineers out there that will be there during that time, hit me up. I'm pretty flexible. I still haven't picked the exact date that I will be going to Epcot, but I'd love to experience some of that stuff with you guys.
That's gonna be fun. Like, it goes back that, like, we saw it on the cruise ships, we see it in the parks. It's, I wonder if there will ever be a consistent presence of Lorcana in the parks and ships, or is it going to be these, because they use the term activation quite a bit. Or I wonder if it's just going to be very occasional activations, like a start and end, a little bit of time, start and end. Missy says they're local and plan on going every day. So,
hit me up. DM us. We'll plan something.
No, that's awesome. No, thanks, Missy, for hanging out. But yeah, I'm excited, and that's why I like about kind of what we talked about earlier in the podcast was we are able to kind of go different directions. We come together for things, but then we're able to do different things and cover. We do it, because we want to experience the Lorcana in those ways, but also we're happy that we have this avenue where we can share this stuff. So whether it be DLCs or Gen Con or going to Disney, stuff like that, I'm glad that we can diversify and kind of cover everywhere. So we've officially gotten to the point where we have to answer DMs on the platforms by using dash name, because it's still a team thing. It's just who's behind the account on a random Wednesday. So I'm excited. I wonder what that promo is going to be. If there is a promo, we don't know. So
we'll just have to watch the Lorecast, I guess, over the coming weeks. I'm sure we'll get more information.
Yep.
Come on, Greg, spill the beans, even if it's just a slip up, buddy.
Okay. Before we hit our last point, before we hit a little interactive segment here, our winner for the second giveaway of promos and keychain. John, I'll let you do the honors in your magical voice.
Oh, it was Dave Chappell. We don't have to mail it to him. We can just give it to him.
Yay! No, Dave, thanks for congrats, Dave, and thanks for everybody for doing that. We got one more giveaway to do as well, but Dave's a great member of our local community. Even whenever we're battling Maui Sharks and Elsa's for top 4 in a set championship. So Dave and I have good fun. So thanks for always being fantastic.
Every week.
Powerline, all the Powerline, just yes, absolutely. No, thanks, Dave, for hanging out. Let's see here. So we have Disney trivia coming up, but one thing around events in general, speaking of community, And something that I actually talked a lot with our local community with last night, and unfortunately, Dylan and John could not be there because they had other very more important things happening. But we do have a very critical change to set championship prizing that I am excited about. So briefly, it was initially the set championship card. The Rockstar Stitch was top 4 for a set championship. They expanded that to top 8. They eventually started giving participation promos to everyone who attends a set championship by having that alternate art in a standard card format. Beginning this set in, I almost said Fabled, but beginning this set in Whispers in the Well, the participation promo is now going to be the full alternate art version of the card, except non-foil. And whenever I got a message that this was a thing, I did a backflip because I was like, this is something I was hoping that they would do, and they have done it. So by going this January to your local game shops, participating in the set championship, the card you see on screen is going to be the card you will receive by showing up just in a non-foil format. Top 8 still receive foil versions with the first place playmat. I think this is a fantastic pro community thing.
I think this should have been installed from the very beginning. This is very reminiscent to what we see with the DLC stuff, right? Which you have the foil version, and then you have your tickets you could turn in to get the same art, just the non-foil version of it. And what was it that Rochelle said over in the Discord?
Yes.
Whenever this was
and I wish I screenshotted that, but I actually went into the main Lorcana Discord and I said, hey, OP folks, everyone involved, thank you for doing this, because immediately people who come to League but no set championships, just people I'm connected with, they were messaging me going, oh, I'm totally coming back. Like, I'm coming back to set championships. And Rochelle actually responded to me and said, I'm going to synopsize, don't quote me exactly, but they said that this is something that they always wanted to do, but they just had timelines and just couldn't make it happen back in Arcasia's Island whenever the non-foil, whenever the standard card promo became a thing. So this is something that's always been on their radar, but it sounds like there was some timeline issues, or not issues, but timeline considerations to actually roll this out. So pro community, I think it's a fantastic thing. Although again, it goes back to, you know, what we've talked about with Dylan on the show is you have a family of 4 playing Lorcana. I don't foresee you coming back to a set championship because it's a financial consideration as well.
It truly is. It's time as well. It's like it's financial, but it's also that time, right? Because even a regular set championship could turn into an all-day event. I mean, this is great. I like this. Does it drive me into coming back and hitting up DLCs like these other people do? No, not necessarily. I'd rather save my money and put it towards sealed and stuff whenever the new set comes out and get new cards for the new set. But this is still fantastic news for the community overall and those players who do hit up all these different DLCs.
Yeah. No, it's set championships.
Oh, yeah. More competitive play. Listen, we've had a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, I think we're going to take a very small break from this heavy news before we jump into this next piece, which will talk about the future of Lorcana and kind of reflect back on our short amount of time that we've had with Whispers in the Well so far. But we are going to play a little bit of Disney trivia with everybody who is watching live. I think the way that we have this set up, and John can help me out with this a little bit, is he has questions pre-programmed in or whatever into like a poll that he will drop down into the chats, and it'll be multiple choice. Mm-hmm. Then me and you, Preston, we have to team up and try to figure out what the answer is, and then chat will team up and they'll try to figure out what the answer is. I don't know how we're going to determine a winner. I guess we'll all be winners in the end. It'll be like who gets more right, I guess. We'll all be answering the same questions. It won't necessarily be a back and forth like it typically is with me and you. But we'll just see if we can compete with the overall brain of the audience.
Yeah, let's see here. Hang on 1 second. This thing was set up for 300
Again.
seconds. That's a long time for the poll to be open. So, but yeah.
First time going live, guys.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's all, and polls are something new. So fingers crossed I got this to work right. Let me.
It will not take TikTok into account, right?
What's that? No.
No. But TikTok, you can still participate. Still let us know your
unfortunately, TikTok is so shut down. It's it's very closed for some reason. So, all right. So they're all multiple choice questions. I've got them entered in. I'm going to go ahead and read the question first, and then I will start the poll. Okay. First question. What is the name of the security virus in Ralph Breaks the Internet? A, Bob, B, Dan, C, Arthur, or D, Ralph? And I'm going to start the poll right now. And you just vote like you do. You just exclamation point vote and type the answer. That's on this. That will be on the screen as soon as I get the right screen up. Bloop.
I'm going to copy and paste it over to TikTok as well.
So. Yeah, there we go. Good grief. I'm trying to do 4 things at one time. So
you're killing it, John.
John is doing an amazing job.
All right. So like I say, it should update the votes live on screen when people vote. We will see what happens when people vote. But so it's A, Bob, B, Dan, C, Arthur, or D, Ralph. What is the name of the insecurity virus in Ralph Breaks the Internet?
Preston, I know we typically compete against each other.
Yeah, there it goes. It's online now.
Back and forth a lot.
You got 50.
This is all you, buddy. This is all you, because I know that you are a big fan of Ralph Breaks the Internet.
You know, I am going to say... I'm going to say Ralph, because I feel like at some point in the film, they were like, he's like the true virus. Like, he was the one causing the damage or something like that. So it's probably not right, but I'm going to say Ralph.
Well, hold on. Let's talk about that. I don't think that's right. Listen.
It's probably not.
I didn't even know the answer because I haven't seen that second one, so I don't know.
So this is like an anti-security virus within the movie. I think Ralph... get where you're coming from, right? Because Ralph is breaking stuff, but this is the second one where Ralph breaks the internet. I don't think Ralph is an anti-security virus. I think it would be kind of like Knowsmore, right? We have Knowsmore is just there as like the web browser, the web search. What would, like, if you could come up with a pun out of these names, what do we have? We have Dan. What are the other ones?
Bob, Dan, Arthur, and Ralph.
And it could be Ralph, but I don't see him as an anti-security virus.
I think my reason behind there was all the things that happened. Yeah, because that's right. Because in the first one, it was more, So yeah, maybe I was thinking about one. I don't know.
Because this is the second one. What are some cool anti-security stuff that we have in real life? What's the what? It's not McDonald's.
Got McAfee, Windows Defender, all sorts of other things. So, Bob, I'm changing my vote to Bob. How about that? Just to
whatever you. I feel like it's Arthur, but I will go with whatever your gut is here because I don't know Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Okay, I know Arthur. That we'll go Arthur. How about that? We'll go Arthur.
No, don't put the pressure on me. Don't.
I've seen it once on a cruise ship. I mean,
what?
I was some adult apple juice watching on the Disney Wish, watching this film on the funnel television.
This is Amanda's fault because I thought that you guys were like, we love Wreck-It Ralph 2, and she's got the
maybe that was Pina Coladas hitting. I don't know.
Okay, let's flip a coin or something, right? Let's. What are we between? What are we between? Bob and Arthur?
Go Arthur. Let's move on. Let's just call Arthur.
All right, let's try Arthur.
All right, let me close the poll so nobody else can vote. It is
What's the
Arthur.
total
That
count?
is correct.
Oh,
So
there
you
we
got
go.
that one right. All right.
How many people got it right?
One person got it right.
Oh. And actually, let me look at TikTok. Let me look at TikTok now. Mr.
yeah.
Bruise guy said Arthur, so
Okay,
we
cool.
did have one over there for Arthur.
I forgot that I did not
Guys,
have
you
TikTok
have-
pulled up.
Thanks for not abusing the power of the internet. Just looking up the answer, because I thought for sure everybody was going to be like just Googling the answers to these.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Let me pull up the right number 2. Okay. This is a good one. How many Piston Cups has Lightning McQueen won? A4, B6, C7, or D9? I will start the poll.
I'll copy and paste that over to TikTok.
This is a Cars 3 question then. Oh,
I have not. I do not remember anything about Cars 3.
so because Lightning was a rookie in Cars 1.
Right.
Cars 2, they were participating in like the World Grand Prix. It was definitely a Cars 3. Yikes. What were the options again?
4, 6, 7, and 9.
Those are a lot of big numbers.
And they're not very. Some tells me 6 because 9 seems like a lot and 4 seems too little.
How many do you remember how many Doc won? In the first movie, whenever they found it, and he did what in his cup?
Oh, he had multiple. I know that one.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely won multiple. I'm just thinking of it from like a story standpoint, how beautiful it would be if like the number matched what Doc had. It was like trying to compete in Cars 3 to like either break Doc's record or tie it or something.
I feel like there's something about a tiebreaker.
I don't know. I'm thinking 4, but it's either 4 or 6 in my opinion. It's one of those. Could be wrong, but I think it's one of those even numbers there with either 4 or 6.
You pick.
Oh. Preston said 6 earlier. I'll go with my co-host here. We'll say 6.
All right. The chat has it completely correct. It is 7.
Oh, look at the chat.
Yeah,
There you go.
3 votes. They all got it right. So, yep, 7.
They either really, really watched Cars 3 or they were like, oh, yeah, we do have the power of the internet.
I forgot I can Google things.
I forgot. All right, let me.
Let's see. We had 6. So we had 1 vote for 6 over on
Yep.
TikTok here. All right, one more. What do we got?
All right, let's see. Let me set this real quick. We're going to go 200 seconds for this. I'm going to let the timer on the thing. All right, let me turn the card right side up. Whoops, wrong card. Let's try that again. There we go. That's the old card. You don't want the same question again. I mean, you might. I don't know. In Ratatouille, what spice is Remy looking for before he and his family are discovered? A, cumin. B, garlic. C, cinnamon. Or D, saffron.
I mean, I know anybody can cook, but I'm not a cook.
I'm pasting this over to TikTok here. Why is it not letting me?
I don't
do
like cumin.
It
so
should
I
it
don't
should
want that
pop
to
up
be
on the
answered.
screen in TikTok, Preston, so you're good.
Okay. Well, I was also chatting it or doing this. It's just not working. No. Cumin, garlic, cinnamon, saffron. I feel like garlic is. It's been a minute since I've seen Ratatouille. I feel like garlic is too. I want to say basic, but too predictable.
I think saffron is too bougie
Too specific.
for Remy. Yeah, I mean that's too fancy.
I'm trying to hear like Remy saying cumin, and I just can't remember hearing it in Remy's voice.
I really feel like it's cinnamon, but I don't know what he'd be cooking with cinnamon. You putting cinnamon in ratatouille and rat patootie?
I mean, ratatouille is a very herby based dish, so you could.
Maybe he
put
wasn't even
cumin
cooking
in it.
that.
Maybe
He's
not.
cooked so many dishes. But I'm just so used to playing Disney Dreamlight Valley and just hanging out in the kitchen, just cooking all the different recipes with Remy. Yikes.
I'm gonna say it's either saffron or cumin.
That's what
I
the
don't
chat.
know,
This is where
man.
Dylan and I split.
That's what the chat thinks too. It's either cumin or saffron. Is what the chat says. If you're looking at the chat poll,
I'm really thinking cinnamon, but I don't know. Speaking of ratatouille, though, going to Epcot, apparently, I guess yesterday or the day before, they changed his ride from 3D to 2D. So
They did.
yeah.
I hate the 3D glasses, but that's another rant.
I don't think that helps with this. It doesn't help with this question, though.
No, I'm gonna go saffron, Dylan, and we may have to split on this one. I'm gonna put my bucket in saffron.
Well, you got a minute left because I got the countdown timer for the chat, so you got a few minutes to milk
if
it.
you're thinking, yeah, if you're thinking saffron and the chat's thinking saffron, we could go saffron, and then even if we're wrong, they are too. So I think we play it like a game. That's the best way to do it. It's either we're all right or we're all wrong.
Got a saffron vote in TikTok as well. So by Mr. Bruce.
We'll go with saffron.
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh, Preston gets one right. Third time in a year.
That's it. That's all I got. I got 3 of them.
That's fun.
That was so fun.
We do that. We try to do that as much as we can, but sometimes the amount of news just it gets too long. We gotta. Sometimes it has to be cut, but I always enjoy that.
I mean, doing it live with everybody else too. That was a cool experience. I'm glad we found a way to do it, and we can get people involved in the chat. But, man, we need to figure out how to do this again sometime. Add some lifelines or something, some 50-50s. Call a friend.
A Discord waiting room. You're live with Fraser
Something.
King.
Right, so rolling in from that, moving on. We talked about DLCs. We talked about Milwaukee, what we plan on doing in January. Let's quickly recap our short amount of time that we've had with Whispers in the Well. I think we've only had one actual league weekend. And as you said, me and John weren't there yesterday. We had other things that we had to do and take care of that kind of came before Lorcana, unfortunately. I don't like saying it like that, but I mean, we all have lives, right? Yep. So you experienced Lorcana at our LGS yesterday. We spent tons of time doing multiple sealed events at our home HQ store and the sister store over at the boardrooms. And we spent all kinds of time together opening 8 different boxes, which you can see the unboxings. They'll be posted weekly. I think we have the first one up right now. We'll have another one come up Friday. And it'll just recap our entire experience of opening, seeing what we pulled. And not just that, but just the laughs and the good times and vibes that came overall that we shared together opening all that product. So, kind of spoiler alerts, right? What were we seeing from cases? I don't want to go into too many details about what we pulled specifically.
Yeah.
Like, detail, because we want people to be able to go check that out whenever those videos drop. Well, what was up with pull rates?
All over the place, I think, is a good way to synopsize it.
And pull rates, as we've said it, Ravensburger said it, they are not guaranteed. But John, as someone who gets a case and has gotten a case pretty much every set, I think that your own feedback or analytics with the data and the community-driven data that we've collected as a whole, whenever it comes to previous sets, you kind of see that for the most part, if you get a case, you get at least one enchanted, correct?
Mm-hmm. Usually, yeah. That's been my experience with it. I always got one. Except this time, I got 2.
Spoiler.
Spoiler, I got 2.
Spoiler.
So,
But that's something we're seeing a lot of, and a lot more of in Whispers for whatever reason. It's weird, right? And we opened all that product, and Preston, you synopsized it very well. We got to see all ends of the spectrum whenever it came to that pack opening experience, because like John said, he opened his case, he had 2 enchanteds in it. Okay? You didn't get a case this time, you just got a box, but you opened it up and you still had a phenomenal box. And then I was able to fortunately get a case this time, not because I purchased the case, but shout out again to Mike, and going back out to our collector's video that we had with him on here, he really brought about this idea of, hey, if you got all this bulk and you have this extra stuff, especially with reprints happening in Fabled, you don't have to settle on that stuff. Don't be afraid to trade some of your collection or your PC, I guess, to better yourself. And with Lorcana becoming a family affair, I think it was reasonable for me to make the decision to trade off a lot of my bulk of stuff that was being reprinted that I ended up getting more of in Fabled, that I was able to actually trade in enough. And again, shout out our store who gave us 70% trade-in credit for an entire month back in August. And I had enough that I could get an entire case free. Now, spoiler alert, as excited as I was to get that case for free, the pack opening experience itself was a little bit different on my end, because I did not pull a single enchanted, and I even had one box where I didn't even get one of the new epics at all in it. It's crazy experience overall.
Which, we always knew pull rates are all over the place, but I think again, in John's case, the enchanted, and not to spoiler, but in my box, it was an enchanted 5 legendaries and 2 epics. It's all over the place. And I think, it was truly a roller coaster ride the entire time. Like,
my brother's in the chat asking, my brother's in the chat congratulating us, but then asking if he can have green bean casserole for Thanksgiving.
I saw that. I'm like, who is asking Cassidy for green bean casserole?
Cassie has a black market of green bean casserole.
Wow, it must be good if somebody's asking for it. It must be good.
Pretty good. Maybe we'll bring some to League.
It was all over the place, like truly. And there's no official pull rate data. There's crowdsourced data that I don't think we've seen yet from the individual that normally does the Google form and the pull rates and stuff like that. But they were kind of all over the place. And over the next 7 weeks, as you all get access to these unboxings every single Friday, y'all are going to see that. Y'all are going to see just how juiced boxes, PR cases were. Just kidding. We did not get that, but just how juiced John's case was and how fine my box was. And then I hate to use the term dead case, but I think that's the term that's being thrown around a little bit. But the dead case that Dylan had in terms of no iconics or enchanters, a lot of great legendaries, though, mind you.
It felt dead, in my opinion. Like the pack opening experience overall, it didn't settle well with me. Just in general. And I am so happy that this case was free, that I traded in stuff and I was able to get it that way, because if I had went out of the way and spent $500, $600 some dollars, like many other Illumineers out there, if you can afford to do that, and as we say, only purchase what you can afford to purchase. Cardboard is nice, but so are paying your bills and all the essentials, right? So if I had to actually pay for this case and I opened it up and it was a dead case like this, I would feel a lot worse than what I do with the way that I got it. And I hate that other people are having that experience. And I don't know. It doesn't settle well with me. And we know that pull rates aren't really shown, and they say that it's at random. It's just weird to me the way that it's happening this set in particular compared to previous sets. And I think that it's okay for us to be critical of Ravensburger, and whether it be something that's happening on the production line or this was decisions that they made somewhere along the way or whatever, it's all right for us to be critical, right? Because they do listen. They pay attention. But you just coming out of Fabled driving in so many new players, us loving the pack opening experience when we definitely thought we weren't going to because of all the reprints, and it still felt good. Sealed felt good, pack opening felt good. It was great to see some of these old cards again. The epics, that chase for the iconics was great. And then you get to Whispers, and even with the epics and stuff this time around, didn't feel as good to me. Like, heck, even the legendaries alone. When we were opening, I didn't even pay attention to the security foilings this time, and I think we got excited and giddy over those when we opened Fabled.
Something was definitely
Small
up
stuff.
this time, though. I mean, it has to be, because you look at the amount of discard cards that people are pulling. It hasn't been that high since, what, Floodborn? Something like that. I mean, it's been a while. And, you know, we've done...
I hate that you drove all these new players in.
Yeah.
One set later, you have these production issues, if they're issues at all, or if it's something that they've created, but where it is going to be a lot harder to get some of these legendary cards or whatever in a set where people are super, super excited to hop back in because there's not so many reprints. You have all these cool new IPs that people are excited for. Now, pull rates are all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, you look back at our, because this is, what did we decide? This was our 4th time doing unboxings, Dylan?
Yeah, 4th or 5th, something like that.
And you look back at the other 3, and most of them were always consistent. They had this, all of ours were always consistent. And this time around, it just wasn't. I mean, it just wasn't. It was very strange. Not only to get 2 enchanteds, but I mean, once again, I've finally got them sorted. I think there's two or three legendaries I didn't pull a one of out of 5 boxes, you know, and legendaries are at an all-time high right now. I mean, you know,
expensive legendaries.
Yeah. So
what was it you said the other day, Preston? This is the first time in this game that we've had 2 legendaries over like that $15 price reasonably, like at the same time.
First time in a while. Webby is around 10 to 15. Hades is around 30. Goliath's around 30. Cinderella's around 60 right now. Demoto's around $12 to $15. So, I mean, we have at least 5 legendaries over the $10 mark and 3 over the 30.
Maybe that goes into how difficult they seem to be to get your hands on this time. On top of their playability. And the excitement of just the IP and what people are wanting to play.
It almost seems like Enchanteds and the Iconics are more readily pullable than some of these legendaries are, which is weird.
Unless your name's Brandon and you live in the West Virginia area.
Well, that's true.
Iconics and 2 completely different.
But I mean, even you look at that. I mean, you look at it online, and I know looking at stuff on Facebook and stuff is not always, you know, the community. But I mean, look how many iconic cards people have pulled this time around compared to last set. It's crazy.
Fabled.
Yeah, Fabled. Yeah, it's crazy.
And even those prices going back, I mean, the prices for the Iconics now, they're still expensive, but they're setting at like 600 or something like that compared to the Fabled ones that never really dropped out of the $1,000 range.
I don't know.
Many may have at one point, but it's just, I'm sure she's back up. Yeah.
And we'll never know because they'll never tell us.
We'll never know. They'll never tell us. We'll never know. But yeah, the pack opening experience this time around felt a little bit different. It did. It felt a lot different compared to the previous ones. So, yeah. But closely related to this is briefly covering our sealed. You know, we have 2 more topics after our Whispers pre-releases. But how did sealed go for everybody?
That second night of sealed didn't go as well for me, I will say. And I don't know if that's just not coming out of the low point of us just opening those 8 cases, me have the dead case, and then going directly to that other event or the second sealed event afterwards. But even the first one, I think I did fairly well. I went 2-1 the first night. It was exciting to see the Whispers, I think. I truly think that the sealed event will be the one opportunity that we will get to play the new Whisper mechanic and cards more so than any other gameplay that we'll get throughout the rest of our time in Whispers in the Well. Because once you go to core constructed, you're kind of limited to the amount of whispers you can run. Whereas with this, it was wide open.
Yeah. I feel like we had opposite evenings. My Friday did not go great. I went 1 and 2. My top end wasn't fantastic. Just I didn't have any heavy hitting things past 5. And then on night 2 on Saturday, I actually went undefeated, which was cool, even though I felt my pulls were worse. But yeah, no, it was fun to see everybody kind of like figure out whispers. Oh, I can boost this twice in 2 different ways as long as I'm not paying ink both times. Like, yes, you can. But standout cards, John, what kind of stood out from you for any standout cards from Sealed?
Mostly it's the whispers. Which 2 was it? It seems like it's been forever now. I can't even remember. The 2 I had, Robin Hood, and I forget what the other one was. Zeus. Yeah, thank you, Zeus. Yeah, those 2 really came in handy the first night, which was funny. My sealed the first night, I only pulled 1 or 2 cards that were higher than 5 ink. No legendaries, no, anything. So my hand was a bunch of 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. My entire deck, and then the next night it was even worse with the pulls. But yeah, that's Hades Whisper and or Zeus Whisper and Robin Hood. Those were the 2 that came in clutch.
Zeus is terrifying. Zeus is just you.
I think Zeus could become really playable too in some of your steel decks that you're wanting to run.
Yep, I think so.
What about you, Preston?
So Cheshire Cat, inexplicable. Yeah, I know Dylan's looking at this card. Yeah, it is. It was a fantastic card in sealed. Once I got it set up, and it's just like, yep, let's just boost away and sling some damage. So Cheshire Cat is seeing play in select Emerald Amethyst decks. I'm seeing pop up. We have Mo Shamblin to thank from that down in Arkansas. So we are seeing Cheshire being played out of all the whispers in the regular core constructed environment. So yes, Cheshire Cat, inexplicable was it? Yeah, pretty fantastic of a card. Anytime I can move damage like Bell, I'm all over it. So.
Yep. And I think that's how I was looking at it, and I had talked to you guys about it even during our pack openings, was Cheshire is a whisper that excites me probably more than any of the rest, and I'm really thinking about running it in my Amethyst Emerald moving damage deck. I think that it could potentially become a Bell replacement, but was this card, Preston, do you think this might have been like your MVP that second day whenever you went undefeated? Because I swear I look over at one point and I look at your match that you had going on, and I see 2 stacks of cards. I see 1 stack about yay big that was your deck itself, but then right beside of that, you had another stack that was only slightly smaller than that, and I see setting on top of that was Cheshire Cat. So I assume that mountain of cards underneath Cheshire was from where you had boosted it each turn?
Yeah, it's about 5 or 6 times, I think. So, and it's a 3/4, 3 strength, 4 willpower. So it stayed on board for a bit. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was terrifying to see what I had boosted the card with, but it was fun. And Dylan,
So
yours.
yeah, I really like the whispers too, man. Like at least in Stilled, the whispers really shined in my opinion. And shout out to Austin, who is one of our big Discord community members or whatever there, who really enjoys the sealed format as well, and that he had some general observations that kind of go along with what we're saying. But aggro was much weaker. I think that it was these top end cards or whatever that really shined. That leads into my top end card, which I had on day 1, and that is the Whisper version of Little John, the Impermanent Outlaw. So this dude, he quests for 3, which is a big deal in Sealed whenever it turns into a race. But I was able to actually use this guy, in such a cool way. At one point, I was down by like 8 lore or something like that, and was able to come back and win with this guy alone. Because not only does he quest for 3, but his boost mechanic, you can spend 3, and then whenever you put a card under this character, you ready him. There is no stipulation or limitation there once you ready him. You can sing a song with him again, you can quest with him again, you can challenge again. He's a Swiss Army knife that allows you to do multiple things. Yes, he is 6 cost, yes, he is uninkable, but once he was out there, he was a monster to deal with because you can even protect this guy. I mean, you can go ahead and quest for 3, spend 3 to boost him, ready him back up so he could not be challenged. That was really cool. No restrictions. And I think that there's a 3 cost action from might have been set 5 or something like that. It's the You Came Back. There's an enchanted version of it with Lilo and Stitch on it that does the same thing, that allows you to ready a character with no restriction. But the fact that you can do that, you're still paying 3 just like You Came Back. But with this new boost mechanic, yes, you can only do it once per turn. But let's say you combine that with another card like Duckworth, right? So Duckworth, he has Rush. You send him out, you challenge into something. When he is banished and he only has 1 willpower, you get to boost a card. So you could hypothetically quest your Little John 3, boost him, ready him, quest again for another 3, rush Duckworth out, crash into something, boost Little John, ready him, quest for another 3. This card was just a monster. He's a in-game finisher, and I think that he saw that a lot of play from a couple of different people. And just going back to what Austin said, and I think this will kind of wrap up that sealed his overall, just because I said that I would kind of like shout him out and what he saw, because he loves sealed just as much as we do. And I think us as a podcast, while other people are talking about competitive, we talk about these limited formats, and we'll talk even more about these limited formats just here in a minute. But he really liked Nibs as a card because it was a card that would go back to your hand in a format where there's not a lot of card draw. And then anything that has removal. So Dragonfire, the new Thunderbolt, so that Zeus 2.0, as you've patented it, was really, really great. And then all of these strong 2-cost cards, right? Kind of like we saw in the past with Mr. Smee. Mr. Smee was a 3/3 who quest for 2, but he had that downfall or that con with him where if you did not have a captain character in play, he was going to lose damage when he was exerted at the end of your turns. They've kind of got rid of that quest for 2 part, but I think just about every ink color outside of maybe like Amber, they now have a 2-cost character that hits for like a 3/3.
Strong.
Pretty powerful cards.
Pretty strong. No, it's Sealed's always fun. We've always said it's our favorite format. Well, I think Dylan's is draft, but we don't do draft around here anymore. So it was fun. It was super fun to do Sealed. It's always a long weekend. Like, I think Dylan's family tradition is to go to Sheets afterwards and get food. Mine's usually like Arby's or something like that. Bill's Sheets this time, which Sheets, if you're listening, which I know you're not, why is a snack wrap and a bottle of something to drink $20? I was like, man, I could have gotten to Red Lobster and got something for this rate. But no, it was fun. Sealed's always fun. It's a long weekend, and I still feel like I'm not recovered from Sealed.
Kayla just sent me a message, actually. I know that we talked about her. She goes, just in case you guys want to read this, since she couldn't get her message in. And again, this is our local game store employee that we absolutely love. And it says, hey there, guys, your favorite game store manager, Kayla, here, because she knows what's up. She knows that she's our favorite. She said, first, I want to say thank you. You guys are one of the best communities that I've come to know, and it means so much to me that you guys chose us to be a second home to come play games at. I'm so happy to have met you guys and see what a wonderful community you've nurtured. You seriously make Saturday evenings the best and one of the best days of the week. I hope you guys continue to be awesome and do all these cool things that Lorcana has let you do. So thank you, Kayla. I mean, that's a big deal to us because her, not only within the store, but just the local community, I think that she is like personally, she is the pillar of our local just game store community, whether through not just Lorcana, but all trading card games in general, because she deals with so many different communities.
Riftbound now, like they're busy. The whole
Pokemon,
thing's busy.
Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. So to know and to hear that, like, hey, our Lorcana community, she really enjoys. Thank you, Kayla. We appreciate that.
That's awesome. Kale's awesome. She knows how to run the ship. Like she knows what's up. But and that's ironically a great segue to what our next to last topic is going to be, because I know we're 2.5 hours in. You know, we'll do the chapters. You know, follow along with the chapters on YouTube. Click what you want to listen to. But closely related to the game shops is we have a new product coming to local game shops in Wilds Unknown, and this is going to be the pre-release packs. It's important that we say packs because that is what they are calling it. I know pre-release. I don't know if that's because pre-release kits are a terminology used in other games, but pre-release packs are coming to Wilds Unknown, and I think we've thought and hoped that maybe they would have done something like this. Remind me, have we been like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to see them do, or?
I think this is one John's called out for a very, very long time.
Yeah,
and
I have.
Especially leading out of that second anniversary panel, whenever we heard them talking about Winterspell and some of them just teasing and hinting at there could be changes in the future whenever it comes to these limited formats.
Yeah, no, it's pretty neat because it's a whole kit. Well, it's a whole pack, not a kit. But we'll get up the pricing in a second. But the idea behind this pre-release pack is whenever you go to your local game shop for pre-release, whether it be sealed or draft or pack rush, you will receive, or you have the option to receive this pack, which contains 6 packs of the latest set. In this case, it starts with Wilds Unknown. You get a deck box. You get 4 dice with the Disney Lorcana logo on them. You get 1 special set-specific item, which has been revealed to be a postcard. It wasn't initially revealed, but it is known to be a postcard. We don't know what the art is. And you also will receive 1 of 6 potential promo cards, 1 for each ink type. Also, you will get a rule sheet as well. We'll get about pricing in a moment, but the promos is interesting because for the past couple of sets now, for a long time, we've always received a buy a box promo and we've received a pre-release event promo. I wonder if I would imagine that the 1 of 6 promo cards will replace like the Scar or not the Scar, but the Horseman Strikes, was it? And
I believe that has been announced. That has been announced in the previous Lorecast whenever they brought this up, that this pack, not kit, but this pack itself will be replacing that participation that you get for showing up and participating in a sealed event.
So interesting. But the second thing as well is, before we get to pricing, is we do have the pack art and the packaging art that was revealed for this. It's Wilds Unknown, so Pixar's coming. We got Woody swinging from a vine. Who else do we got? We got, oh goodness, Gadget. I can't see all the way down here. What was it?
It's Gadget from Rescue Rangers.
Yep, we got Gadget, but then we have this mysterious pack that has art covered up. So new IP art they don't want to reveal yet. It's a lot of speculation.
I think that's the discussion we're having. Yeah, for sure. Over in the Discord, I think some of the big names that are thrown out, or at least my favorite that is being thrown out, is possibly Tarzan coming in Wilds.
Would they do 2 bangers of a Pixar IP in 1 set, though?
I mean, that's true, too, because I'm not sure. Well, Tarzan's not Pixar. So.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So you could just do Tarzan, but that was the other thing, is Bug's Life, right? Having Toy Story and Bug's Life potentially being Wilds. If they really wanted to hit hard with Pixar and say, yeah, Pixar's here, they definitely could. I don't know if they're going to do that. I can see them doing a gradual rollout, in my personal opinion, because we know that think it's the quarter after this, Q3, we're getting Turning Red.
Yep.
So it seems like they just want to do a slow loadout, I guess, or rollout of these Pixar IPs. Couldn't, or it may be just a big surprise, and maybe it is Bugs Life or something, or Up or whatever.
Enchanted art
because
that we don't know yet. Iconic
Adventure is
Woody,
out there.
iconic Buzz, iconic Zurg. I don't know. Kidding.
The big thing here, though, for me in particular, is only the pricing. Because pricing, have we talked about that yet?
We have not, and
So these are going to MSRP at $39.99, so starting at like $40. And I know that our sealed event that we just participated in was like $35. So this is an extra $5. And yeah, you're getting extra stuff with it to an extent, because like that promo that you're getting, you were already getting that promo before for that $35 price. You're getting 4 dice and a postcard, essentially, and a rule book for that extra $5. And now they've added this collectability aspect to it. Seemed cool for some people, but you are getting 1 of 6 promo cards in this. You don't know which one you are getting. And each promo card will be representative of the 6 different ink colors. So if you want to collect them all, you might have to do some trading or whatever, because if you only participate in 1 sealed event or 2 sealed events, you're only going to get 1 to 2 of those 6 different variations of the promo.
Yeah, I think it by them doing this indicates to me 2 things. Is 1, they're very serious about pre-release, but 2 is right now, if you go to a pre-release event, your store is just ripping boxes and boxes of product and just handing out the booster packs therein. So I'm not a logistics person whenever it comes to card shops, but I like to think that obviously there's a separate production line for the packs that keeps it separate from the boxes that they could sell in whole. So that to me is a clear indicator that there's some sort of production resources dedicated to this. Now, are they just taking the packs off the same line and putting them into these pre-release packs? I don't know. But I do like the fact that stores, we don't know how this looks like from a store side of the house. Maybe John has insight, but I would imagine they could probably go in here and request a certain number of pre-release packs. So
they could, but I would say they're probably just pulling them off the line. I can't see them doing 2 different print runs for 2 different things, because that ends up being a lot of money.
True.
But this is the way it seems to go with all TCGs now. I mean, Magic does it. They have the pre-release box with all the stuff in it. Star Wars does it. Who else did I see? They do it. I can't remember. Anyway, most places do it. Most trading card companies do that now, because it's an easier way to, 1, get a little more money, and 2, I think it's better on the store, because they're not having to order cases of product to use just for sealed. I mean, you look at how many people came to the sealed event that we had, 20 some people at 6 packs a pop. That's what, 2 times 6, that's 120. Yeah, that's a bunch of boxes that come right out. And if there's a distribution problem, like there has been before, that's boxes of potential sales somewhere else. I like the pre-release boxes. I think they're cool. The promo.
I like the way you explained that.
Yeah,
because that's something we hadn't talked about. Is that gives the LGS the flexibility there. They now get to keep that inventory that they can sell out that way, and they don't have to make the decision of, do I sell this product or do I allow pre-release to happen and open it up to only select amount of people can participate in it, because we have some small stores might have that issue.
Yes, and some have. Yeah.
But a second thing there is talking about inventory coming in the past with these sealed events. I know we just had like 20 some people participate. If a store is busting open a case and they're giving packs out straight from that case, you want to talk about pull rates there real quick. It's like, okay, within this store during this event, there should hypothetically be guaranteed at least how many ever enchanteds based upon how many people were there, how many boxes or cases were used. But with these being prepackaged, now it's all out the window, right? There's nothing guaranteed here.
Right.
That'll be interesting to watch too, because we typically see at least like 2 to 3 enchanteds pulled during our sealed events.
And the thing about it is a lot of people are talking like, well, what if the store doesn't purchase enough of them to have everybody that wants to participate in the sealed event? They just purchase more than they need. And then they adjust the next set and then the next set. Because, like, if you go to our store, they still have pre-release boxes from Star Wars from 3 sets ago that you could go and buy right now for $30 or $40, however much they are. I don't even remember. But, you know, I mean, stores will adjust to it.
Yeah. I think one big thing here is, you know, obviously this does increase the price of our participation in a pre-release if we go the pack route. I wonder if, obviously we want to support the stores the best we can, but I wonder, I'm thinking about myself and my wife. I'm like, you know, okay, cool. We'll probably go Friday night, get the pre-release packs, 2 of each, or 1 for each, and then great. But then going to the next shop, you know, do I really need another postcard, another rule sheet, another set of dice? Or could we potentially have the option for stores to still just, you know, maybe have a reduced entry and just the packs? That I don't know.
I'm going to guess no. Most stores don't.
I'd like to see it,
so,
but I don't think they will.
No. They'll do.
It's going to be easy on the stores if
Right.
it's just pre-release pack or bust. So
yeah. And I'm fine. You know me. More dice, the better. I carry too much dice with me anyway. So
Dice goblins.
Dice goblins.
All the D&D buddies out there, they know what's up. All kinds of dice. Preston, I think before we get into our last news story, on a little long here, let's go ahead and start that last giveaway for people that have stuck around with us this entire time. And then while the giveaway is running, we can quickly go over that last news story.
Yep. On YouTube,
so, again
TikTok viewers.
YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, I'm sorry, but you'll have to come over to one of the other two. You can join the chat there. John will post the raffle, and then you will do ! raffle and put your number of ticket entries in for your opportunity to get a promo version of the Goofy Emerald Champion, the Pluto Tried and True, and a special keychain that has Lorcana art thanks to our good friends over at Sleepy Chicken Nugget Designs. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
and if you are... Yeah, thank you. If you guys are subscribed on either one of those platforms, the Twitch or YouTube, you get extra entries into these giveaways, so more opportunities to potentially win this. But while that is going on in the background, before we get into Wilds Unknown, because that is in Q2, I want to talk about something that recently came out that will happen a little bit sooner in Q1 when the release of Winterspell. And I know me and John talked about Winterspell a little bit. We know, or it had previously been announced, that this would be the set where we will get Pocahontas for the first time, which still shocks the heck out of me that she's coming in a winter-themed set. We're getting Lilo and Stitch, the series, and Darkwing Duck, which a lot of people are excited for. But I don't want to say it's leaks, but there are some packaging elements that Ravensburger has released. And we've had some investigative sleuths out here zooming in on these products and rendering photos the best that they could for Winterspell. And I think there was a new image of the Trove. John and I had looked at an image of a Trove before, and on one side you could see what seemed to be a still Lilo and a Sapphire Belle, who seemed like she was dressed from the Beauty and the Beast Christmas Story movie or something that was like a straight to VHS. But I guess we get to see the other side of this Trove now, and there seems to be some other cards or whispers that are being announced or released. And the most prevalent one and important one to me, which I have been asking for a while, and we've even, like, all the way back in Arcasia's, we had it in our blind ranking, like, prediction of, man, that'd be cool to see these. We're getting Fox and the Hound. Fox and the Hound is coming to Lorcana in Winterspell. This was not previously announced, and we only know this because of the zoomed in images of the packaging. We also get to see our first look at Pocahontas, who is a amethyst card. Surprise, surprise. That kind of surprises me too. I would see her more of like an amber card, sort of like the Rapunzels and stuff we've seen in the past. And We see what looks to be like a Ruby action or song from possibly Mulan. I'm really hoping like we make a man out of you scene or something there. But let's focus on this Emerald Todd real quick, because we are getting a Emerald Todd card, who is the fox from Fox and the Hound. And I guess, or what I would like to see, and this goes for both Pocahontas and Fox and the Hound. This winter set that we're getting is really cool. It's really unique, but sort of like we've gotten in the past with Illusions, getting them in Arcasias and then getting the rest in Jafar. I would absolutely love it to see Pocahontas and Fox and the Hound introduced in Winterspell, but then in the set afterwards in Wilds Unknown, as the seasons change and life begins to bloom, really see these glimmers and these cards come to life. And we have like young Todd here, right? We have like the young baby version of the fox. It'd be cool to see like the young version of Copper. Those be the only glimmers that we get. Even Squeaks, the caterpillar, maybe getting like the caterpillar version of Squeaks in Winterspell. But then when Wilds comes out, both of them all over again, even more of these Fox and Hound characters, but they're all grown up. And you see the progression of the characters just like you see in the movie.
I think it's
Pocahontas.
important. Oh yeah.
See the Callers of the Wind. Yeah, the Callers of the Wind coming alive in Wilds.
I think it was quite the surprise, because for those that don't know, Ravensburger actually has like a media assets websites where folks can go and download images, and this was just on the side of what was it, the Trove? Was it the Trove where all this appeared? So yeah, so on the Trove, they have the product here. But now that we see Wilds Unknown, I see the thematic of like it's snowy, everything's winter basically, and then things are starting to spring and Wilds Unknown. So it's thematic, but I do hope they continue with that flow, like you mentioned.
Daniel agrees in the chat. I think that would be really cool, and they're doing such a good job. Ravensburger, the whole team is, with these thematic sets, kind of like what we saw here in Whispers. And I think the next two will be the exact same way. I know Winterspell comes out in February, not necessarily December. John over here.
Over here.
Pull your picture up so everybody can see, John.
I am. I got it pulled up. Oh, wait a minute here. Let me transition over. Yeah, this is my first lunchbox from when I was a kid in first grade kindergarten. Yeah, it's Fox and the Hound.
It
was a long time ago. I don't even know if this thing has a date on it. Nope, it doesn't say. But I mean, I still got the thermos. Yeah, with the cup. Yeah,
the soup ready to go.
Yeah, so yeah. Who's excited for it? I'm excited for it. The art on this thing is
I would have
amazing. I mean, look at that. They just don't make things like that anymore.
They don't make them like they used to.
They really don't. Everybody just carries a plastic thing now. They don't have cool stuff like we did when we were kids. So.
But no, so obviously we are approaching reveal season for Winterspell rather. I think these are some of the first cards we've seen. I know we had the Darkwing Duck, was it a couple cards? So, but we still don't know anything.
If you go over to the Ravensburger website, I know there's like 4 or 5 cards that they have like officially revealed and shown off, being maybe Launchpad and Darkwing and a couple of other cards from that set. But like you said, we officially don't know anything of what these cards say or their abilities, just these blurry images.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming soon. Probably this next Lorecast, they're going to be doing card reveals and stuff like that. So, but to timeline Lorcana, kind of like how we timelined our first year. So we have Winterspell coming out next year. We have Wilds Unknown after that, but we don't have anything beyond that. Is that right? With no official set names beyond Wilds Unknown?
I don't think we have a name. We don't have a name, but we know in Q3 we're getting Turning Red. That's the only information we have past Wilds Unknown.
Yeah. So
Hades in August.
Yeah, Hades. Maybe gotta read the
in
flavor
August.
text.
Yeah.
No, that's exciting. Cool franchises, all the feels. We're gonna be crying while playing with our glimmers from Fox and the Hound. So it's gonna be so sad to be challenging. But I have one final piece. Dylan's leading our regular outro, but John, our final giveaway. Who was our winner for our final giveaway here on our first live stream celebration?
That was Daniel Murillo, I guess is how you say that. I'm real sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize.
Daniel Murillo. Awesome. No, that's awesome.
Hit us up on Instagram if you can't anywhere else. I know what your Instagram is, so just if you hit us up on Instagram, I'll know it's you.
Yeah. So be sure to do that. We will sort out all the shipping stuff. We will probably I have some of the promos. Dylan has some of the promos. We'll probably my guess is we'll probably get together this weekend, compile, and then get those out. So but congrats, Daniel. Thanks for being here. I think Daniel's been hanging out for a good while. So it's that's awesome. So thanks, Daniel. We got the Goofy promo, the Pluto promo, and a keychain heading your way soon. So hit us up on Instagram. Like Dylan said, I think you follow us there. So we will know who you are. So hit us up. We'll sort out all the shipping details.
Thank you, everybody else, for hanging out. Whether you hung out the whole time or you hung out for part of it, no matter what, at the end of the day, this has been a fantastic year. We love this small community that we have come to know and build and cherish, and I hope that we get to continue to build it and expand even more into the future. As always, guys, there will always be a seat for you here at the Ink Table.
And shout out John. John, thank you for everything.
Doing it live, pulling the strings, not only the past year, but
it's been a while since I've did a live one, so I'm a little rusty at it, but yeah, it's not bad.
No, John, you do so much for us, and really, we wouldn't be here, recording this 19th episode and having over 100 clips on YouTube without you. So it's you are the man behind the mirror, the man behind the curtain, keeping this cooking. Literally,
listen, you started this.
It's all your fault.
It is my fault. I'll take the blame for it. Okay, fine.
The peer pressure. Look, I made a logo.
Thanks for hanging out with us on all the platforms too. So TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you are watching our live stream. I know we primarily promoted YouTube, but we figured it'd be a nice, fun surprise to go live everywhere. So that was pretty cool. But thank you all for being a part of this table. But Dylan, hit the outro.
Right, guys. As always, email your questions or your thoughts over at podcast@theinktable. Or if you want your voice to be heard right here on the podcast that we have at least once a month, sometimes more, you can leave a voicemail at voiceline.app/theinktable, just like Rebecca and Canada Mike and myself did during this one. You can easily find and follow all of our socials by checking out our link tree. For even more Lorcana content, you can follow Preston on YouTube at Preston McNair or myself at Storyborn Dylan. Join the conversations. We have our Discord. You can find our Discord down in the links anywhere and everywhere. It's attached to our link tree. I really pride with the Discord and the way that we do it, the fact that we're in there every day, even if we can't have these podcasts once a week or anything like that, like other content creators are. No matter where we are, no matter where you are, these conversations are still taking place every day within the Discord with all of you. And new to this outro, check out our merch store at theinktable/shop.fourthwall.com, where you can get your own Ink Table merch. You can help support our channel and fund some money and resources back into running our site and giving even more giveaways, maybe some troves and stuff in the future, going right back to you guys. Please make sure that if you're listening, no matter where you're listening, that you consider subscribing, liking, and leaving a review on your platform of choice. It gets us more visibilities, more listeners, and gets more people to pull up a seat at the table. Thank you, guys, and always, there's a seat for you here. Right? Is that how it goes?
Something like that.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
This podcast is part of the Gamers Lounge Radio Network. Get more gaming news and shows at www.the